We're now live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to your 4th free online class with Ugly Duckling Nails. My name is Cuticle. And we have Natasha here. Woo! 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 Hello everyone. I'm just going to give it a minute while we have some joiners here. So I am doing our 4th free online class hosted by Ugly Duckling Nails Instagram page. Today I will be doing vintage bridal inspired nail bling. So we're gonna go and do 4 different nail bling tips. We're gonna talk about our clear as mud crystals, our Sticket, a lot of product knowledge, and commonly asked questions for these 2 items. We have lots of tips and tricks that we're going to go through with just the application of bling and just have fun with it. So I'm excited to share with you some crystal designs. Hello everyone, I'm just having a look here. Hi Natasha. So Natasha will be here. She's going to help with any questions you guys may have. I will be focused a lot on the crystal work, so I may miss some questions. Natasha will let me know what they are. She'll help me answer them and we'll just go from there. Sounds good? All right, guys.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera here. Right there. There we go. Okay, so I've got a couple, or actually here. Thank you, Natasha.
Okay.
She's always helping me with the technical aspect of the things. All right, you guys. Okay. So I want to make sure. How's the lighting? Can everyone see? We're all clear. Sometimes working with crystals, I know the clarity can get a little fuzzy. So I will do my best to make sure everything stays in focus. Hello. Hi, Kathy. All right, my nail friends. So today I want to show you basic crystal application. And we're going to go through our flat back crystals. I'm going to also show you how to do our pointed back crystals. We're going to do a full contact nail. So I want to show you the proper application using our Sticket, how to achieve it, how to avoid any problems. One commonly asked question that we do receive is with our Sticket having bling that maybe is lost, which just means that we're not using enough. So I'm going to show you what we recommend using, how to use it based on what design you're doing, and that's going to help you with the best retention for all of this. Now, also too, just so you guys know, you will also receive a discount code. Cuticle50. Natasha will put it in the comments there. So you can use that discount at uglyducklingnails.com all the way till Sunday, right till the end of the day, to purchase any of these products that you maybe don't have. So we're going to start with the basic one. I'm going to walk you through the application. Hi, Priscilla.
Hi, P.
We also have Homa Diva in the house.
Homa Diva.
Well, not in the house, but
in the virtual house.
That's right. So we're going to start with the basic, and then we're going to move to the more complicated ones. And then the 4th one, which I don't have here because that one's a secret. Surprise. Ooh. You have to stay tuned to see it, which is exciting. So each one I do, I will let you know the products that we're going to use in case you are joining along doing these designs as well. So let's get to it. All right. So I've got my first tip here prepped. I'm just using a full contact tip. You guys can use our tippies, oval art tips, whatever you want to do for your nail art design. I've chosen just to use a longer tip for these designs so that you guys can really see the crystals. With the pointed backs, having a bigger nail really works to achieve these certain designs. So I'm just using longer full tips here. And we're going to start with this one here, a little cuticle area, which I find is the most common crystal design that I do with my clients. It's the easiest. It's also giving them a little something without being too much, you know? So you can have subtle right to bling bling. Okay?
Bling.
Good. All right, so I'm using our crystal tip display here, which is awesome for, you know, if you guys are doing any nail art, creating nail tips. Natasha always uses our crystal tip display when she's creating her fabulous nail art. It's nice to have the 5 tips together. They do come with 5 silver and 5 gold metal posts, so depending on what you're doing, you can change them up. So today we're going to use the individual crystal here. for each design. And we're gonna jump right into it and start with our 234. Our 234 is our diamond gel. If you guys have not tried our diamond gels, they are fabulous. Let's have a look here. I wanted to show this. I know it's really hard. So these are like our reflective gel polishes. So when you take like a flashlight to it, they are so sparkly.
I wonder if I try.
Yes, do you mind? I wonder if we could turn off. Let's try, because it is so amazing. But just maybe turn off some lights here. Because I wanted to show these ones, partly because, a little closer. Yeah, do you see that sparkle effect? I wanted to show the diamond gel because this is another way that you can incorporate the sparkle factor without having like necessarily too many embellishments on the nail. You know, clients want that look, but not necessarily wear a ton of bling, which is completely fair enough, just depending on what they do with their hands, you know, their type of work, possibly. Thank you, Natasha. That's perfect. Let's put the Lunula lamp back on full here. So I wanted to start with this because it really does give that base of a sparkle factor without having too much bling.
Do you want this one on?
Oh yes, thank you. And just let me know, guys, if you can't see anything or if the lighting is off. So number 234, this is one of our diamond gels. We have 6 diamond gels currently. So you can take a look at our website at the other ones that we do offer. I love the silver because it's very versatile. You can also custom create different
diamond gels.
That's right, and I'll show you. I have some swatch tips here done that if you guys, you know, wanted to kind of create different colors, you can alter them using our jelly colors, which is amazing. So I'm just doing a thin layer, and I'm going to put that into our rechargeable lamp for 60 seconds. I'm going to do probably 2 coats with this, 3 depending on the full coverage that I want to achieve. But I'm going to show you the other diamond gels that we do offer so you guys can see the colors while that's curing. So these are the other diamond gels that we offer in our line. They're beautiful. You can wear them on their own. You can pair it with nail bling embellishments, which really gives that ultimate sparkle factor. So these are the 6 that we currently have. Great. All right, so I'm going to do one more coat of the diamond gel. The great thing about the diamond gels is that you can layer it thin and just have a subtle appearance, or again, apply multiple coats for a more dense look. How many of you guys watching either wear nail bling, do a lot of nail bling in your studios? Do your clients request them? Anyone having issues with our Sticket or clear as mud crystals? Okay, we'll do another cure on that. 60 seconds. So we recommend doing a full 60-second cure in between each of our gel polish, each layer that you do, to make sure that each layer is fully cured. Bling is life. So for me, doing nail bling is my form of nail art. Everyone has their, you know, what they like to do. Natasha's amazing at all her floral designs, incredible at hand painted stuff, incredible. For me, I love doing nail art or nail bling for my designs. So this is our 234. I think I am going to leave it at 2 coats because it's perfect, and I'm going to leave it. So we're not going to finish this with a top coat. We're going to come in and apply our Sticket and our bling before we finish with a top coat. You can finish this nail with a top coat and put the Sticket on top if you prefer. There's different options you can do. When we get into our second nail design, I will be doing the reverse. So I will be finishing with a top coat, then putting on the Sticket, so you guys can see the options on how we recommend applying the product. I just want to take a second to talk about our Sticket. For those who haven't tried our Sticket, it is amazing. It holds the largest to the tiniest little embellishments for 2-3 weeks. And I have worn my nails like the big point-to-back crystals. as well as the little tiny beads, and I've had no issues. If you do have retention issues, it just may mean that you're not applying enough Sticket. So we're gonna talk through all of that with application today. I wanted to share and show for those who maybe are not aware, our Sticket can look like both of these. We have one here that's cloudy and thick.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it can feel a little bit gritty too.
Totally. And then we have a clear, thinner viscosity Sticket. Both are the same. Both work the same way. If you find that you received your Sticket looking like this, it's no problem. Sticket freezes. And unfortunately, without being warmed, it does not return to its original consistency. So we just recommend you just applying the lid tight, making sure it's completely closed, and putting it in a bowl of hot water, warm water, and it will warm it back to look like this. So sometimes we get a lot of people, emailing us or having questions about the Sticket. It just needs to be warmed up. However, I use this Sticket, the thicker one, when I'm using my pointed back crystals. I find it's better for that in that sense. So for me, it's like bonus. I have one of each and I can use them for different things. Okay, so just a reminder, you can warm up your thicker Sticket so that it becomes more of a thinner viscosity.
Do you mind if I just
Yes,
jump in?
please.
Warming the Sticket too will not have any adverse effects to its adhesion or anything like that. It still works wonderfully, and just warming it up will really make it more fluid. So like Crystal said, we usually pop it in a mug full of pre-boiled water, and that does the trick. Let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes and it's good back to its regular form.
Absolutely. So I'm going to primarily use this consistency today with our blinger tool. So this is, again, my favorite tool, obviously, because I do a lot of bling. It has a wax tip on one end, and it is removable, which means over time, your little wax tip will eventually wear down. You can remold it with the warmth in your fingers to either kind of have a softer point, you can have it more pointy, whatever you like to work with. And you can also replace these. So if you have a perfectly great blinger tool and you just need to replace a tip, we sell these separately. On the other end, we have our dotting tool. This dotting tool I use to actually apply the Sticket onto the nail. You can also use it to pick up like little caviar beads or kind of move them around on the nail as well. So bonus for that. And now let's show you my nail bling, which I prepared this morning, and Natasha is pleased. Because usually my crystal platters, these are our crystal platters. So we sell these for if you want to use them to put your crystals on. Mm-hmm. You can even use it if you're painting designs, whatever. It just has a little bit of a ledge here where our crystal palette is what Natasha would use for all her nail art. Mixing colors, whatever it may be. So there is just the difference between the two. But I have two here because I've got enough of my bling already picked out with what I'm going to be doing today. So she saw that. She was happy to see we have all the sizes organized nicely on the tray. Normally it's all mixed together, and I love that because it's like, ooh, what can I find? But I've organized it neatly so things stay timely, efficient, and Natasha is good.
I'm grateful.
Because all she would be is staring at these platters thinking, oh my gosh.
It just gives me a little bit of anxiety, but
yeah,
it's fine.
It's all good, no worries. So we're going to use a little bit of both. I'm using our crystal flat back. So you guys, if you're working along, feel free to use whatever flat back colors you want. We have a lot of different colors. Before I start, let me just show you the colors we do offer. We have more than this, but I just pulled some out. Cape Blue, we have our Fuchsia, we have our Colorado, Siam, AB, we've got Montana, Light Rose, Aquamarine, Blue Opal, Pink Opal, Rose Opal. Rose Opal, thank you. Some of the colors that we do carry. So there is a lot of variation that you can use. I've chosen with the vintage bridal theme to stick with a basic crystal, and it's my favorite stone to use. So we're going to start with that. I've got our SS16s, our SS12s, SS10s, and then over here we've got SS8, 4, I think actually it's 6 and 3. So you guys can take a look online at the different sizes that we do offer. All right, So now we're gonna jump in and we're gonna apply some of our Sticket. Grabbing out all of our products, having it ready to go. So I am going to do a basic cuffed design around the cuticle. I kind of like to trail it down one side and wrap it around the cuticle area and finish off on the right side. That's typically what I do with my designs, and I like to kind of create like a waterfall effect. That way it just kind of tapers out the design, it makes it look clean, and you know, you don't have to worry about necessarily getting it super crisp if you're doing more of a detailed line work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up a little bit of our Sticket, okay, from our jar. And we're going to add a little bit to where we want to apply the crystal. Wherever you apply the Sticket is where you need to place the crystals prior to curing. You can work in little bits and apply sections at a time, but you have to make sure that you cover the Sticket with crystals prior to curing. Sometimes I've actually forgot I had a little extra Sticket in one area and I've cured one section, and then I'm like, oh no, this area was cured, and now trying to place the crystals or the little beads on, it's not laying flat. So wherever you lay the Sticket is where you need to place any crystals or beads prior to application. So for this one, it's going to be pretty easy. I'm going to apply the whole amount where I'm going to place my crystals, and then I'm going to come in and start placing them where I would like them. Ideally, I like to work from the biggest ones to the smallest ones, starting in the corner. And one thing I did forget to mention is we have our caviar beads. These are silver, all multiple sizes. I use these a lot to fill in between the crystals. So we're going to be using a lot of the caviar beads as well. So if you have those, you can get them ready. It's kind of like a pinwheel. You just roll it to whatever size that you want. So I'll have that ready. Typically, I dump it all on my crystal platter, but I'll just keep it nice and neat in here. And you can see with the wax tip, it really picks up so easily. You don't have to fight it. To get it off the wax tip comes so easy.
I think a lot of people think you really have to press.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. You basically just tap the crystal or the beads, and the wax picks it up. If you press too hard, you can damage the wax tip.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm being extremely gentle. It's like feather touch. I'm barely touching, and the beads stay on nicely. How am I? Am I in frame a little bit?
I wonder if we should just zoom in.
Zoom in?
Just a tiny bit.
Okay. I know it's hard with working with crystals. Everything doesn't focus as nice. So just let me know if it's kind of not looking clear. So I use the caviar beads to go in between the crystals, because especially when we're working with like bigger ones, you're going to have gaps in the nail. And a great bonus with working with, for example, the silver, which I'll talk about more when we do the full nail, is that even if you do have little bits of area that are poking through, the silver really camouflages it.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of work with the smaller ones. I work down the chain of these sizes to taper it out. I only use the large ones around the cuticle area, and then I start with the smaller ones. And the reason why too is because using too many of the bigger ones in certain areas will also make the nail look bulkier. So when we get to the full contact nail, I'll explain more about that. But I just basically add bling here and there to fill in. I can see where the Sticket is. Go back and forth and add some caviar beads. For me, I love working with the beads. It really finishes off the design nicely. Fills in those little gaps. Now this would be a great option for maybe, let's say, a client wants a little bling, maybe has never had nail bling before, not really sure about it, and they just want a little taste. This is typically what I would give them to start off with. Slowly introduce it, and then eventually they love it, want more, and then you keep adding more. So I'm just gonna turn and get some smaller beads. Now you can work in sections. So let's say you don't feel comfortable applying all of this at one go is no problem. You can apply a little bit of Sticket in one area, apply your beads where you want them, your crystals, cure it, come back, add some more Sticket as well. But really the Sticket does not move. Your crystals do not move. If they do shift slightly, it just might mean that you have a bit too much on there. The main focus is to have enough Sticket without having too much Sticket. If you have too much, which sometimes, people can put too much on, when you place your crystals around, what's going to happen is that Sticket is going to come around the crystal edges and basically drown it.
It will go up and over.
Exactly. And we don't want that. We want to avoid that. The reason why we want to avoid that is because it's going to take away the clarity of those stones. So we want enough that it holds the crystal, but not too much where it's going to cover the stones. So now I'm going to come in, grab a little bit more Sticket on the dotting tool end, and I like to add some random dots just to kind of feather out the design. So basically I'll use the smallest crystals, SS3, and I'll just place it down, and it just kind of gives more of like a, like a waterfall effect. Rainfall effect. What would you say, Natasha? How would you describe that?
Almost like a fading,
yes,
cascading. So it's not a total blunt cuff.
Exactly.
A nice blunt cuff around the cuticle looks nice as well. But I really like how Crystal just kind of blends it in, especially with that diamond gel base. It's really, really complimentary.
Yeah, and then you come in at the end, like I've done my first main section. I haven't cured it yet. I'm just having a look at the nail. I always twist my client's finger back and forth, getting the line of light, seeing the crystals, do their thing and sparkle. If I need to add anywhere, I will add. If I'm happy, and I will cure it.
And that's the nice thing too, like you said, Sticket's not going to set until you put it in the lamp. So
that's correct.
You have the workability to kind of scoot things around and slide things around if you need to.
Absolutely, which is awesome. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, we've got a nice little basic cuticle application.
Pretty.
And I love it because, you guys, I love the diamond gel with this option. Of course, you don't need to use diamond gel or anything sparkly. You can use it on a flat nail, whatever works. But I typically, I'm going to put that in for, thank you, a 60-second cure. So again, with our Sticket, all of our gel products is a 60-second cure in our rechargeable LED lamp. Okay, Natasha just finished a beautiful product manual that we have on our website. So you guys take a look at that. It's online. We have that available for people to go, nail techs to go and basically just learn about our products if you're unfamiliar, if you're new to our brand and have questions about application. It has our procedures, how we recommend using it, cure times, what products we have in our line. It's a very beneficial and knowledgeable piece of information. So again, check that out.
You can find it on the website. If you scroll to the bottom, there's a link in the footer of the website. It'll say UD manual. You click on that, and on mobile, I believe it will automatically download it for you. So it'll download as a PDF file, or if you're on desktop, you can view it right on the website.
So now we're going to finish with our no wipe top coat. Okay, so we still have this sticky inhibition layer from our diamond gel, and we applied our Sticket, our crystals, and now we're going to finish with a top coat. So I'm going to show you what I do to kind of give extra support to the small little caviar beads as well as the little SS3 crystals. Okay, when we apply our top coat, we don't want to cover the crystals, obviously, because that'll take the clarity away from them. We want them to shine. The sparkle factor.
That's the whole point.
That's the point. So we're going to apply our top coat. I like to basically come in, cover the tip of the nail with the no wipe top coat, and then I'll sneak up with a little bit more of a drier brush. I don't want it to be too wet because I don't want to risk any of that no wipe coming off the brush and again going over top of any of the crystals. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly butt the brush up against the caviar beads. I actually go over the caviar beads because it doesn't matter. It really helps to enforce those They've got a good adhesion on those. They get caught easier, so those would be the first ones to come off if they were to. So having that extra no wipe over top really helps to keep those beads on. And I just basically butt the no wipe up against the crystal, close to but not on, all the way around. We want to make sure that we're covering all of the exposed sticket. I think I say that too much. It's like, is that right? Because it does have an inhibition layer. Okay. If I, for example, can't get close with our brush, I will come in with, I think, Natasha's favorite brush. This would be my second, our Detailer 2 brush. We're going to be using this a lot with our crystal application. And that's why I brought our wonderful palette out, because I'm going to put a little bit of top coat on there. And I'm just going to load my brush up and basically come in and go around any of those small areas that I cannot reach with our no wipe brush, because it is very important to make sure we have all that area covered. Now, you might not notice it as much with a design like this, but if you're doing, let's say, a lighter color, soft pink, or even maybe a white, anything light, and you have, let's say, some areas of exposed sticket that, am I out of frame? Oh, thank you. That has not been covered with the no wipe, you're going to run the risk of it discoloring. It's going to hold dirt, it's going to hold fuzz, and it's not going to look pretty. So it's very important to make sure you go in between all those exposed areas where the sticket was without touching the crystals, but covering the sticket. Okay, once that's done, we're going to come in and do a full 60-second cure. And the first one is complete.
That's so beautiful.
It's basic, so it's a great option to have, again, for clients who maybe haven't worn bling, just want a little bit of bling, not too heavy. You can even do less than that around the cuticle area. You can just give them one line. Yeah. Right? Just something dainty, which is always pretty. I like to typically do that on ring fingers. If they just want one nail in each hand, I'll do the ring fingers. That's my choice. It looks the best in my opinion.
And it's kind of out of the way. So
totally.
It's usually the finger that's the least likely to lose any crystals or anything like that, at least in my opinion.
So that one was just basic, simple, starting with the application of Sticket for those who are unfamiliar with how it's used. Now, we're going to pop into our next one. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated because we're going to start to get into, I know,
I love this one so much.
The pointed back crystals. So when you look from the side, you can see how the crystals are raised. And we do get a lot of questions on how to use the pointed backs because it's not typically a crystal that a lot of people would wear. As nail techs, obviously, when we bling out our nails, we bling out our nails. So this is definitely an option for us to wear on a daily basis. So I'm going to show you how to properly put on the pointed backs and create just a basic kind of S-shaped design on the nail. And as you can see, we've got our moonstone top coat underneath.
That pairs so beautifully.
So I was trying to pick something that was more wedding inspired, something someone would wear on their wedding day. And our moonstone is one of our newest top coat that we've released, and it is amazing. So I got to show you that, obviously, show you how it works. And again, it's something that you can incorporate with your nail art bling to give that extra sparkle factor. Okay, so we are done with the first tip using our, let's recap, 234 diamond gel, and we've got our flat back crystals and our silver caviar beads. So very basic design. Look at the shine on that. Our no wipe top coat is so shiny.
It's honestly, it's the best.
It's amazing. Okay, we are going to move on to the next.
So beautiful.
All right, tip number 2. Okay, so for this design, we are going to be using, for those who are joining in, number 193. So 193 is our milky white. Let's have a look here. So this one is semi-sheer. Great for, creating ombres, fades. I'm picking this because it's not obviously white, but it'll pair nicely with our moonstone. You can also use, I just want to show because it's obviously wedding inspired, any one of our French colors. Yeah, I'm going to show that as well. Thank you, Natasha.
I'm just so eager over here.
You're like, show them this, show them that.
She's like, yeah, calm down.
So this is our French collection, which again is we have 9 new semi-sheer colors. This is our 12-pack collection that includes our 193 as well as our 131 and 44, which is our white. So you can see the difference of white versus our softer white. This is the one we're going to use today. So any of these would look amazing for nail art for bridal. If you want to pair the moonstone over top of it.
Full color as its own. They're just such a versatile collection.
Yes.
And milky shades have been so popular
Super,
for 2024.
They have been. So I just wanted to send a friendly reminder on these shades. Now I am going to show you guys what it looks like over our other colors here. So we have, the moonstone you guys just saw over our 193. But we've also paired the moonstone over top of our sorbet colors, which obviously was a first launch of the year. Love these colors. And as well as some French colors. We've got some of the French colors in here as well. So you can see that the moonstone really gives a different effect on different colors. And that's the beauty thing of it. We have hundreds of colors in our gel polish line. Yeah. So pairing the moonstone over all these colors, it's going to look so beautiful. So having this base and adding crystal on it is perfection in my opinion. And then we've got our pastel neons on this side for a little bit more of a punch of color. Natasha, you're going to have a little...
I was just going to say that the moonstone would look beautiful over any of our finished filed or applied core our core lines as well, like our core sculpting gel, our core acrylics.
Oh, for sure.
And over top of Build-A-Base. It looks beautiful even without a color underneath.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. So I'm just going to apply thin coat of our 191.
Priscilla says she has moonstone over milky pink Build-A-Base right now.
Ooh,
nice.
That would be beautiful. And I'm just going to do one coat of the milky white just to keep it soft. You want a little bit more of a solid look, you can come in with 2 coats if you choose. You can see it's semi-sheer, it's soft, it's beautiful. Frida says she used moonstone over rose. I know, I remember that. It was absolutely stunning.
It's so beautiful.
So nice.
Would you say those are a reflective glitter gel or just a glitter gel polish?
The moonstone?
Moonstone is...
It's like it's cat eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our moonstone top coat you will need to use with a magnet. So if you guys have a magnet available, the moonstone top coat does need to have a magnet in order for it to kind of create that effect. Are we talking about...
Well, I was just going to say you can mention the difference in the diamond gel too.
Yeah.
The diamond gel is definitely more of a reflective glitter, whereas the moonstone is a cat eye. So they are different in they are different.
Yeah, definitely. Different effects, which is cool.
100%.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to come in and apply our moonstone top coat. If you guys haven't tried our moonstone top coat, it's a must. Look how beautiful that goes on. It's got such a subtle look. And the thing is, you can keep it just like this too. You don't have to use the moonstone or the magnet to create the more of the cat eye effect, because this really is just beautiful on its own. Just depending on what you guys prefer. I wonder if I should remove the crystal.
I was just going to say that might help.
Okay.
I tend to find it likes to try and steal the show sometimes.
Yes, I know. And it's not about that today.
It's about crystal.
Yeah,
not about
that one today. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my magnet here, which is...
You got it?
Yeah, thank you. And put it on my lunula.
Here.
Okay, Natasha's going to help me.
I'm here to assist.
I can't do it as a one-hander here. Okay, so we just got our Ugly Duckling Duo magnet. So it's got a rectangle on one end.
Rectangle.
And I always go to Natasha for reassurance. is this the correct description for color? And then just a little round one. So I'm going to use a little round one today. And basically, you just want to hold it around. Let's see if we can capture this on the screen. And we just kind of go around the outer edges, and you can see how it's kind of creating that effect right in there, which is so beautiful. I love it.
Kind of like a halo effect.
Yeah. And you just kind of work with it until you're happy with how it looks. Of course, we're going to cover most of it with bling anyways. I'm happy with the way the tip looks, so I'm going to leave it as I say. If, for example, you do too much, okay, and you completely take away that effect, no big deal. Just come back in with a dry brush and just wipe it over again and then start again.
We have a couple questions.
Sure.
How does the Moonstone compare to number 186 Cat Eye Gel Polish?
Oh, yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah?
Oh,
Okay.
of course, yeah.
So 186 Gel Polish is definitely more of like a silver cat eye glitter. Moonstone is kind of like an opal, soft, silvery, clear based top coat, whereas 186 is definitely a silver cat eye glitter gel polish, I would say.
Mm-hmm. That is correct. And again with that, I wonder if we have 186. Yeah. So let me just show you. So with our diamond top coats, I didn't show you guys these ones. So with our diamond top coats, this is the silver underneath. So the 235 that, oh, pardon me.
Diamond gel?
Yeah, the diamond gel. Thank you. 234, which is our silver diamond gel. We have paired, if you look underneath, okay, all of our jelly colors on top of it. So virtually you can make so many different options of diamond gels.
I love this. And we have this in our showroom on display, and every single person that comes in the showroom instantly says, "What's that?"
I know, and it can't, it's obviously without having the proper lighting, it's really hard to, see, but this is what you can do. You can create more custom colors within our gel polish line, which is awesome. It gives you that variation. 186 is the 9D cat eye. So it is different and creates different effects. Again, with this one, you can pair our jellies over top of it as well.
Absolutely.
So you can create, let's say, more of that. You can create
it's more of like a crushed velvet kind of look.
Correct.
I use it at Christmas with the red and green jelly gel over top. Danny P says, "Can you imagine chrome over Moonstone?" And guess what? Frida actually just did a display set on her Instagram
gosh
of Moonstone with chrome over top, and it's beautiful.
I know, I was obsessed with that, actually. Amazing, Frida, if you're still there. I think you are.
Is.
Awesome. Okay, so we fully cured for 60 seconds. It does not have a tack layer, okay? It's fully shiny, no tack layer. We do not have to remove an inhibition layer. It's basically a no wipe, okay? So now we're doing this differently. We've got the finished no wipe on top, and now we're going to apply our pointed backs. And I've chosen the opal to do with this design. And we're going to start with the center. So whenever you're working with a pointed back, you want to have them laid out and figure out which ones you're going to use. We have different sizing available for that. So if you can see, this one's huge. It's like it is beautiful. It's our biggest one. So you would want to pair the bigger stones with the bigger stones if you're creating that design, and then the smaller pointed backs with the smaller pointed backs to create the design. Very rarely do I incorporate both of them unless it's like a little one that I fill in with the bigger size ones. Just for balance, and obviously when you see how we butt them up together, how they work.
And how brave you are.
And how brave you are. All right, so I'm going to grab my trusty blinger tool.
Carrie here from Aura Light Nails. Carrie, our sweet friend Carrie, she says, "I was going to beg for more diamond gels and now I don't have to."
Yes, well, it's a great option, and we try to really have that option available. Like, you can mix our gel polish colors to create many different colors. And yeah, so that's a great thing that you can do. And right now, just so you guys know, we have our collections of gel polishes available on our website. So we have our jelly gels, 12 pack, available for a discount. But purchase them individually from now till Sunday and you get 15% off, which is great. All of our collections are 10% off, so you guys can but with watching this class, you guys get a little bonus. So Okay, so I have basically set my Sticket right in the center where I'm going to start applying the crystals. And with this design, I am going to do it in sections. So I'm not going to be applying all of the Sticket, all of the crystals in one go. I need to cure in between. And that is because I do find with working with pointed backs, I have to make sure they stay on place because they're a heavier stone. And with the Sticket, they will tend to glide. So we want to avoid that from happening. So I'm just going to come in. We're going to pick up one of our, I'm just trying to get this in frame here.
You're great.
Like our marquee. Oh, this is our pear shape. We have so many different pointed backs. You guys can take a look on our website for the options. I like picking up I like using the pointed back crystals with the points directing down the nail or up the nail, depending on what I'm doing. So that's kind of how I place them to begin with. So I got that one. I might come in and try the square, angle it there. And the thing with using the pointed backs is you can use whichever stones you want. Sometimes I'll put them on, doesn't work, I take it off, just depending on how they fit together. But you can see how they butted up against each other on that pointed back. Okay, right in with the Sticket. And then I will try another pointed one. Make sure, sometimes if I don't have quite enough Sticket, I'll have to come in and apply. No big deal, it's sitting there, everything is good, and I've got to use one more to tuck in there. So I may choose to use, let's say, another square. Might fit in there nicely. Okay, so I've kind of created that dome look all the way around. The goal is to get the point. See, we have that square point. We don't want that point sticking up. We want it to be pointing together. And this is to avoid, you know, obviously it getting caught, things getting stuck in there. If there is any areas in the center that are open, we can use our caviar beads or any smaller crystals to kind of fill in that area. Okay, so now before I cure, I have sections underneath in these kind of open gaps that still have Sticket remaining. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and tuck in some bigger beads, and this just really helps to kind of fill in that area. Now I do feel like it's sliding a bit, so I need to just kind of poke it back up very gently with the wax tip. Pick up some of these bigger ones, and I'm just going to place them in, and it kind of helps to keep them from falling in those areas. And it also just kind of fills in the gap.
That's so beautiful.
Simple. And then
simple. Some people they're probably like, oh my goodness.
Oh no, but like it really is, once you start working with it, it's really, you know, not too complicated to do. Having too much Sticket is going to be a problem because they're just going to kind of slide and, you know, cave in, which is not what we want. Before you guys go to cure it, just double check we're in place, look from all angles. I do have some areas in here that, you know, are obviously areas that can get caught very easily. We're going to fill that in with more caviar beads once we've cured this first section. So let's get this cured in place. And we don't have to do a full cure at the moment. Because we will be adding, but just to hold it in place for now. Again, final cure, we would recommend 60 seconds to really get that exposure.
Frida says you're the queen of bling, Crystal.
Thank you.
Strongly agree.
Thank you. I know there's amazing crystal work that is out there. Like, it's just fascinating to see. Mm-hmm. And for me, like if I am walking down the street and I see someone's hands glisten, I'm like, whoa.
If you see anything glisten.
It's like, what, a crow?
Yes.
I'm a crow.
You are.
Okay.
Crystal the crow.
Okay. Perfect. So we have so many options and colors for our crystals, you guys. You'll have to check out our website. Like, we have so many SKUs for crystals.
Yes.
Colors, flat back sizes. We know. Natasha knows because she does it. But lots of different options for shapes, flat backs, pointed backs, colors. It's amazing. It's endless.
Yeah.
Okay, my nail friends, moving on. Now we're going to start just kind of trail up the Sticket. And I'm just going to apply a little bit. I'll do the top first, and then if I'm feeling good, I'll come in and maybe finish off the bottom or cure it. Now, what I want to do is take my dotting tool, and I'm just going right underneath the pointed back crystals because there is a little bit of a ledge here, okay? And we need to tuck in the caviar beads so that it doesn't get caught in people's hair. It just doesn't collect any unwanted debris. We need to fill that all in. So now what I'm going to do is start applying. Again, I always like to work bigger crystals to smaller crystals towards the cuticle area. And just slowly add some bling. This is one reason why I like to dump all of my caviar bead sizes. Should I just do it?
Yeah,
I'm gonna just put a little bit of each one because it's just easier for me. The thing is, there we go. Now I'm in my element. It's just easy for me to grab what I need instead of twisting all the time. I just make sure I have all of my bling embellishments together. Now I'm in my happy place. Natasha's like, oh no. All right, so I'm just kind of going back and forth with the sizes. I like to have my heavy crystals in the center, and I like to tail it off with the smaller ones just to give that dainty look.
We have a comment with full coverage gems. How does one remove them? Well,
yes,
is going to be covering some full crystal application in just a bit, so maybe she can touch more on that.
Of course, thank you. And if you're still with us, again, just to let everyone know, this live class will be saved.
Yes.
Okay. It'll be saved here on our Instagram page, YouTube, as well as Facebook. So if you're unable to watch the whole thing or need to kind of go back and, watch later. If you can't remember a certain thing, then you have that option, which is awesome. So that being said, I will definitely cover on that, and please remind me if I do miss it. But the beautiful thing about Sticket is that it holds them in place for weeks, and it's so easy to get off. Yeah. So easy to get off. So that is good, because we don't want to struggle with removing. I remember back in the day when gel products like this weren't available in the market. How did we used to apply our embellishments, Natasha? With acrylic. Okay.
Or nail glue, or even super glue, I think sometimes.
Honestly, and it's, oh really?
Yeah. But mostly nail glue, but acrylic for the big ones for sure.
I remember that, and I remember just having these little metal things on, and I had to take them off my cousin's nails. I'm like, I'm not sure how to do that. It was easy putting it on, but yeah. So I just did a quick cure to hold those stones in place, and now I'm going to come in and work on the bottom half. So you guys can create, whatever designs you want, but what we would recommend is when you're working with pointed back crystals is to center them in the center. Place them over the apex is ideal placement just for balance overall. You can do the cuticle area as well. I just find they're less likely to get caught when they're in the center, and that's just experience and preference. Again, I'm taking more of the Sticket, and I'm working around the edges here. If you guys can see from the corner, we've got a little bit of a high ledge, so I'm going to tuck in some Sticket, and we're going to get some beads in there so that we have nothing that will get caught.
And our caviar bead wheels, I believe they have 4 different sizes.
I believe you are correcto.
So it's beautiful for something like this where you're needing to fill in different size gaps. The caviar beads are beautiful because they're these beautiful little metal beads, and they add to the overall look, but they're also great little space fillers. They
are, and they don't bleed. Like they're metal beads, so you're not going to have that worry.
Color bleeding when
absolutely
you're in gel.
Yep.
We do always recommend covering them with a little bit of top coat just to prevent them from discoloring over time, just from wear. But yeah, as Christico mentioned, when you're applying them, the color's not going to bleed off.
Not at all. And the one thing about doing nail bling, you guys, is that it's like, when do you stop?
Never.
Ooh. I know. It does take a lot of time to do. You have to have patience with doing the nail bling. And, you know.
Your clients have to have patience.
Yes. That is very true. Okay, so now I have to touch point because remember we used a no wipe. This is basically fully cured, no inhibition layer. So when I'm applying any Sticket, I have to make sure every area is covered with bling, okay? And we want to avoid that having extra little bumpy areas of Sticket not covered, because you're gonna see that. If you have a little bit of a area in here, let's say you cured, the Sticket now is a little mountain, you're gonna see it on the nail, and it's gonna take away from the look, and it's gonna create more bulk to the nail. So with applying the smaller SS3 stones and kind of doing that fading out look that I did in the first one, we only want to apply what we need, okay? And then I'm going to show you a trick that I do to help these little beads stay on longer. Okay? How's everyone doing?
Everyone's doing great. I think everyone's
just focused.
Focus and concentration.
Amazing. So now I just placed a little bit on top of kind of where the peak comes together with all 4 of them, and I'll just place another little bead in there just to fill in. Sometimes the gap is a bit bigger, sometimes not. I just kind of like to create that extra look. Now, for those of you who are watching and do nail bling on your clients, what is the most common nail bling design that your clients like?
Carrie's so cute. She says, I'm currently adding to cart.
Nice.
Doing some shopping.
Might as well take advantage of the deals. Nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish it off here because like I just can keep going for days, I think. I'm in my happy place when I do bling. Now, okay, so I'm going to do one more SS3. I've just applied what I need. I place it in, and literally, when you place it in, it sinks a little bit. It's like when you put your foot in a mud. You know, when you have that suction?
Yeah.
And obviously, when you remove the wax tip from the bling, when I apply it, so easy. It comes off nice. But when you touch it again and it doesn't come out off, you know, that makes sense, and it stays within the nail, we've got a good amount of Sticket. That's how I find. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll place a bead down and I touch it again and it'll come back up. So you don't have enough Sticket. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and cure that. Just give it a quick cure.
Ria says, here they don't really like it. Just a little stone, but not too much.
That's okay.
Sear says, around the cuticle areas where mine tend to get small bling, and we also have somebody else that said cuticle area half circle.
Yeah, which is the most common one I personally do as well for clients. And it's beautiful. It's dainty. It's classy. But then
Ria says she wants to change it because she loves bling.
Oh, good. I honestly thank you. I love to hear that. So I just think this pairs so nice with the moonstone, with the white opal. Beautiful for a wedding nail. Let's say your bride has the pink and whites. Maybe they just want a little something, something. This would look amazing on the 4th finger, honestly. Stunning. Okay, now, the tip that I have with the final step is we're going to take a little bit of our no wipe on with our Detailer 2 brush, and we're going to just kind of go around the little caviar beads just to give them a little bit more security. Okay, and anywhere in between that may have the exposed Sticket. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Okay,
because Sticket does cure with an inhibition layer.
It does, which is no problem. You can either coat it with the no wipe top coat so that it's sealed, or you can take a little bit of cleanser and remove that as well. So that is an option too. I personally like to do the no wipe because it gives that shine factor, whereas Sticket will have a little bit more of a dull look. Okay, but that is also an option. So I'm just going to come in with my Detailer 2, and I just kind of place a little dollop over top of those beads, and it just kind of melts down it. And it'll just go around the bead only. And just offer a little bit more security. So then I'll take the no wipe, go in between, and make sure all those areas are properly sealed. And the nooks and crannies, can I say that?
You got her.
Okay. Without affecting the design. Again, we don't want to touch the crystals because we don't want to take away from that bling factor. Now we're going to do a full cure. But you can see on the side, we've got our little mountain here, and it's all sealed around. We've got our beads in the areas that are going to prevent anything from getting caught. All right, let's do a full 60-second cure. We'll have a peek at that.
So beautiful.
So that's a nice option to do for bridal. Bridal inspired, using our opal. Pink opal would be nice, or blue opal, like something blue. I know.
Isn't that using the noggin?
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me for a second, everyone. I'm just going to take a drink from my Ugly Duckling tumbler.
40-ounce tumbler.
Those of which we have available on our website in black and white.
You can snag one for 15% off. Let me just put the discount code in the comments.
Check out our swag. All of our UD accessories. All right, so this is almost done. We'll have a peek at this one.
Sear says my Sticket is always on the firm side. I don't find my room on the cold side. You know what? Sticket is super temperamental in regards to temperature. So even in my home here, we're in Victoria. It doesn't get overly cold here. Even mine at home is a little bit thicker. But just popping it in the closed jar in a mug of pre-boiled water, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and it'll bring it right back.
Oh, totally.
Yep.
It's no problem. But again, obviously that one is cold because it got cold here in the winter. And we have one that's not. Okay. All right. So we have our pointed back bridal inspired nail using our white opal pointed backs and flat backs with a variation of caviar beads in our silver and our moonstone over top of 193.
That's so beautiful.
So for the moonstone, you guys, it's going to create endless colors with our gel polish colors. So if you haven't got the moonstone, definitely give it a try. It is just a fantastic top coat. I love it. Okay. Perfect. Now let me show you, because we have been working with silver only, and I will only be working with silver, but we do have two other options in our caviar beads too. We have our golds and our rose gold, which is awesome. I love this gold because it looks so sharp with our Kate blue red stones, like jewels. I love it. And then again, we have the rose gold option, which
that's my favorite.
Is I was gonna say Natasha's favorite. Silver is my fave.
I mean, I love them all for all their own uses, but I usually end up reaching for the rose gold.
All right, you guys. So that was tip number 2. Now we're gonna move on to the full contact nail. Now this one I think is probably the one that people have the most difficulty with using, just with using the Sticket on a full nail. How do you apply it? Do you apply it in sections? Do you apply it all together? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to apply it all together. And the reason why I personally like to do that, I've done it both ways, but I just find we have a lot more control over placement. So with doing a full contact nail, we are going to basically start with the bigger stones in the center and work our way out with the smaller crystals. And this is going to help to obviously make the nail look slender without bulking it, So we will do the bigger stones and then work our way out with the smaller stones. Okay, and I'll show you that. With doing a full contact nail, you're going to find that the crystals are going to shift a little bit more. So you have the flexibility of putting them back in place when you're tucking them here and there. So I'm going to do it all in one go. Now, when you are doing like a full surface crystal nail, My recommendation would be pairing it with something that a color underneath that goes with the crystal you're using. For example, I'm going to be using number 26 color gel because it is absolutely amazing, as you can see from the cap. So our color gels, what color you see on the top is what is inside of the jar. So there it is. Boom. It is highly reflective. Again, a great option to use as a base to give that extra sparkle factor with not having too many embellishments maybe on top, right? So this is a great one to use as an accent nail because it is so sparkly, or full set. So I did a full set of crystal bling on my nails for Vegas one year, and I used this underneath because with doing a full nail, let's show you the example here. You are going to have areas that are going to pop through. You're going to have, even though I use the caviar beads, if you guys can see, there are still areas that are going to poke through that will show the color. So pairing the silver with the crystal is a perfect one because it really, again, camouflages those in between areas, if that makes sense. If you're doing, let's say, like a AB, you might want to do more like a rose gold or a pinky tone will help. Just play with it depending on what color shade you use. I always match it with the color of crystal as a base, and I would recommend a sparkle glitter opposed to a flat color.
Yeah.
Just because you have that extra light coming through, and it really, again, like I said,
camouflage.
Thank you. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to start with a thin layer. With our color gels, they are super pigmented. Little goes a long way. And they're typically one coaters.
Yeah, which makes them amazing for nail art too, hand painted art. If you're looking for glitters that you can do line work with, color gels are the bomb.com.
So I'm going to use our Gel 8 brush to apply because I'm using just a larger tip here. So I'm going to come in and apply a thin layer of our color gel. You guys can use gel polish, whatever you choose to do, but this one is incredible. I use it a lot with my bling work, and you can see how, like, I'm putting this on so thin, it's spreading so nice. It's gorgeous.
Especially for glitter. Like, glitters can be tricky sometimes, but I find the color gel glitters, you brush them on and they just self-level so nicely.
They lay flat, so you don't have little areas that poke up, which is great. So in this case, we are going to just apply a thin layer. Only one is all I need. Now, highly recommend having a separate brush when you're working with like the glitter potted gels because they are so amazingly sparkly. They stay in your brush. So having a separate brush for the glitters is recommended because it is very difficult to get all of those little sparkles out. Okay, so with our color gel, same thing, 60-second cure. We want to make sure we do a full cure before we come in and apply our Sticket. And we have lots of different color variations on our website you guys can go take a look at. I'm going to come in with our Ugly Duckling lint-free nail wipes.
They are lint-free.
Yeah, when we say lint-free, we're not kidding. So I just usually clean my brush by pinching it dry, and that helps to remove a lot of the sparkle or color, which is great. If you guys haven't tried our lint-free ones, give them a shot.
Now's the time.
Good. All right. Almost done. I want to make sure it's all cured. Obviously, when you're doing tips, it's not, doesn't need to be fully. But with working with clients, absolutely cure for the recommended time. Okay, so now we've got our number 26 color gel all cured. We're going to come in again with our wonderful Sticket, and we're going to polish on a full layer. You can either apply with a gel brush if you choose, or the end of your dotting tool, which is what I'll do here. Okay, so you can do it either way. Whatever works. I'm just going to pick up a larger amount. And again, we're going to do the full nail. So I'm going to apply just a little bit on and then just pick up some more. Again, we don't want too much because we don't want the crystals to be kind of drowning in the Sticket, but we need to make sure we have enough, especially for the big ones in the center. And as I kind of spread the Sticket out along the sides, I am tapering out that thickness.
Almost like you're icing a cake.
100%. You would be good at that. I think you would be amazing at cake decorating.
Oh, well, thanks.
Would you ever do that as a hobby?
That'd be fun. I wanted to do cookies. I
Oh,
thought
you
cookies would be fun.
Yes, you would do great cookies.
But the problem is I would eat them.
I think that's the truth, isn't it? You're like, we got to test it to make sure it tastes good.
Right. That's my problem. But it would be fun.
Just like the artistic
Yeah.
side of it. I know.
doing that.
Honestly, I know. Okay, my nail friends, just tapering it out. And no big deal. When we start applying the bling and we get to the outer edges, if we need to add more, we can come in and add more. It is absolutely no problem. Okay, I think I'm good with what I've done. Now we're gonna get all of our prepped crystals in place. Okay, so we're gonna start right down the center, and I think the trickiest part of doing this type of nail is making sure that they're straight. You don't have to have them straight. You can have them random.
That's what I do usually.
Yeah, so now here's the thing. What should we do? Do you guys want to see like straight on, or should I do it random?
You're the boss today.
What do you guys want to see? Because we have a demo of straight lines. Correction. Straight-ish. Or should we do kind of, okay, yes, random. I knew Priscilla would say straight. I just know. But let's see. What we got to have at least, yeah, okay, yeah. I thought so. Yeah, let's do random. Thanks, guys. Priscilla. Sorry.
Sorry, P.
Okay, we're going to do random. So basically, it doesn't matter. Just throw them on.
Amazing.
Which in my opinion is a little bit quicker. But there's still kind of, what do you call it?
There's still some kind of
formula to it?
Yeah.
Is that how you would say it?
That's what we're going to say.
Okay. I like to, with the big crystals, I'll start with placing the big crystals kind of randomly, okay? And then I kind of fill it in. I don't ever place the bigger crystals around the sides because they definitely will create a bulkier looking appearance. So having any bigger crystals, focus mainly in the center, okay? If I place things on and I'm not happy with it after, I can take them off. It's really not a big deal. And this definitely is a faster option with this type of doing nail. So, honestly, if you're doing a full set, you're charging for it. It's going to be a very time consuming and a lot of crystals. So having it random like this is definitely a lot easier. So I'm kind of just clustering all of them kind of in threes, working around them, and then I'll fill in areas with smaller ones. Let's say like tuck it in there. So the only thing that I would personally say the main focus is to have all the bigger crystals focused on the center, little ones on the side. Okay, let's bring in some other ones here too. It really is handy having the crystal platters when doing crystal work, laying them out. I just find it easier than having to, kind of poke in little containers that they come in or whatever storage containers. For me, I find it definitely a lot faster to find what I'm looking for than having to go kind of back and forth and grab what I need. Some of these are already shifting, so I'm just going to tuck them back in. And I'm going to, I know I took some caviar beads out, so we've got some beads in here. I'm going to start placing some of the beads in between. So I have gaps here where, if I put a little crystal in there, it might look kind of funny. So I will put some bigger caviar beads in, maybe pair it with a couple, just depending on what gap I have. And I kind of work back and forth with crystal and caviar beads. That way it makes it easier. With the application, it's not like I'm coming back fighting to, fill in certain areas. I like to work with crystal and beads.
I think the key is for this design as well, is just making sure you have a variety of sizes.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
A lot of time this is where I get quiet working with clients because
you're
in the focus zone.
Or they're talking and we're doing the typical nail tech. Oh yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Honestly, and it's like, I know, because you're so focused and then you forget what they said and you're like, oh shoot.
Until they say, what do you think? And instant panic just rushes over your body.
Totally. Have any of you had that situation? We definitely have all been there, that's for sure. And then I don't know, like, what do? Try to duck out of
I just make a joke and be like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so sorry, I didn't even hear a word.
Yeah, totally. You're like, what? Okay, so just filling in back and forth. As you can see, it does take time. It takes time and patience.
So for somebody who may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed with a nail like this, is it okay to still do it in sections?
Yes, you absolutely can. So let's say you start at the top and work your way down.
Yeah.
Just do a little section, apply what you need, and then come in and apply some more. That is no problem. For me, the reason why I do it like this is because sometimes I'll add some in certain areas and I look at it afterwards. I'm like, no, that's off balance, or I need to change that. So I have that option to remove it. And that's just a preference for me. But again, at the end of the day, it just comes down to what works for you. Natasha, what would be your favorite design?
With crystals?
Yeah, like what would be something that you would like?
I do love the full nail, randomized like this with different sizes. And I am a fan of the crystal cuff.
Yeah.
I've worn our Fufu acrylic many, many times just as a full color, and then I've placed our opal crystals at the cuticle area just for a little something something. And that's probably one of my favorite looks. But with that said, I am a sucker for a nice cluster like you just did. I keep looking at that, I'm like, ooh,
I know.
it's been a long time since I've worn something like that. It may be it's overdue.
Overdue is right. So just again, coming in with some caviar beads, filling in where we've got some gaps.
What about you? What's your favorite one to do? That's
Yeah.
not a fair question.
I think cluster. I think my favorite is the last one that we did. Major, but huge. Like I would say the one that I just did was, medium scale.
I've seen you rock some huge clusters.
Yes. Big, so big that I can't get rings on. Right?
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify because I'm like, I just honestly like rings will not go over them. I'm like, I guess I'm not wearing rings today.
So big that people in airport security have grabbed your hands and said, what are those?
Honestly. Do you remember that time when we went and, this guy's honestly, Natasha, I tell you, she puts up a lot with me. I don't know. I had to open up my bag or something. Why? Was it because of the weight or something?
It's the weight.
And what happened, Natasha? You tell a story.
We had been in the airport 5 minutes here in Victoria. We were in line and she weighed her bag. She's like, oh no, my bag's too heavy. So we had to start shuffling stuff. Her nails were extremely long. We were off to a trade show. And she went to unzip her suitcase and her nail got stuck. And she snapped the enhancement and her natural nail in half. And she was in so much pain. She was trying to keep her cool. So she started speed walking in a big circle around the airport, and what did
that guy.
What is it? He's like something. A guy walked by with his wife, and I could hear him talking to his wife under his breath. He's like, oh, she must have a cramp. No, she snapped a nail.
Yeah, if you know, you know. You know what I mean?
And I felt so bad. We had to go to the bathroom, and it was hanging off by like a piece of her hyponychium, so she had to just take a deep breath and 1, 2, 3 rip her off because there was no choice.
Did I do that or did I glue it?
No, you ripped it because it
had no glue.
No glue. It was past the point of gluing.
We've all been there. We've all done that. That's just the name of the game sometimes with the big long nails.
The funniest thing though, the guy, because Christica was just like, she was just literally running in a circle, and the guy, he definitely didn't mean for anybody to hear, but he's like, oh, she must have a cramp. Yeah.
Honestly, that was like the best moment ever. The ones you remember. Yeah.
Cuticle also likes to do things in public. I mean, we both like to do things in public to try and make each other laugh or embarrass each other.
Absolutely.
It's just kind of what we do. And I remember one time we went to nail camp in the States, and it's literally like a summer camp to go to for nails.
Oh no,
and
I
we were
remember.
walking down the side of the road, and it was pouring, and we were...
Dark at night, wasn't it?
Dark. It was pouring. We were walking on the side of the road, and Crystal's like, I see a car coming, watch this. And she threw herself into the ditch to make it look like she tripped, but she didn't see there was a huge rock down there, and she landed right on it with her knee. And so when she got up, she was limping, and I was still laughing because I thought she was kidding. She was very much not.
No. Oh my gosh, the shenanigans we get up to.
Shenanigans.
Okay, my nail friends, I'm still just kind of placing. We got a lot of them shifting. Just with the heavier ones, they will drift a bit, which is no problem. So I'm just butting them up together.
Be Unique says, cry then, laugh now.
I know.
Very true.
Totally.
I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt kind of bad because I know the pain.
Nah,
she's fine.
I deserved it. That's okay. Sometimes, like in school when I used to be the one that would laugh when someone got hurt. Not just because it's not funny, but it was just awkward.
Reaction, I think it is.
I guess it's a normal thing. I just want to make that very clear. It's not because we're mean.
I still do it. Jevitt gets not mad at me, but he's like, I hurt myself when you're laughing. I'm like, I think it's because I instantly feel uncomfortable.
Totally.
And I don't know how to handle it, so I just laugh.
Yes. Well, that was fun story time telling. So, yeah, I filled all the center. It's nice because with the random placements, you've got different areas especially where the lights will reflect off of. So you have your eye is drawn to the big ones and then the little ones, and it's almost like, what am I looking at? It's
this looks very expensive.
Thank you. That's what I was going for.
Very,
luxurious. Okay. I know, it's sometimes finding the word. So I always finish, you guys, around the sides with SS3s and caviar beads. Of course, we want to still have a full nail with full crystal bling, but we do need to make sure that we apply the smaller ones on the outer edge to avoid creating a bulkier nail, as well as having a little area where we're able to take our no wipe and come in between and do a seal. That is probably the most important thing. We got to make sure we seal around the outer edges. So I will basically come in, take my SS3s, fill in any areas that I need to fill in around the side walls of the nail, the tip, and then I'm going to finish with the beads along the side.
Crystal, while you're finishing that,
okay.
Are you up for a non-bling question?
Sure.
It's to do with Ugly Duckling.
Okay.
Marina, I
Yes.
hope I'm pronouncing that right, says, I know it's not about bling, but can you tell me about HEMA-free primer?
Yes, what would you like to know about HEMA-free primer? We have that option available in our line currently, as well as a primer that does contain HEMA. Mm-hmm. Anything specific about it specific? We basically had launched that as an option for people who do have sensitivities to HEMA. We know, HEMA is completely fine to use at safe levels, which our products contain safe amount of HEMA. For us, we recommend that if you don't have any issues with sensitivities to it, we would recommend using the regular primer because it ultimately has the best adhesion, the best bond. So if you can, if you don't need it, we recommend the regular one. For us, we are definitely working towards including more HEMA-free options within our line, including our gel polish. So that is definitely what we are doing so that for those who do have that sensitivity, have options within our line.
We just recognize within the nail industry in particular as a whole, sensitivities and allergies have kind of been on the uprise. So we know that there's a need for more HEMA-free options, and our product development team is working really hard at bringing that.
Correct. Hopefully that answers your question.
If not, let us know, and we'll be happy to try and answer it better.
Yes, totally. And again, it doesn't work on everyone. Like if you're using the Hema-Free and having issues with lifting, like not what you're used to, we find it doesn't always work. I know it doesn't work on Natasha, for example.
No.
Yes.
And not to say that it's just due to my chemistry, I guess.
Yep.
I need Hema.
Yeah. So I'm just taking our little caviar beads and I'm going right around the edges. The beautiful thing of working with a tip is that I can twist where I need to.
Wherever you need.
Well, if the client needs to twist their hands, we can twist. But I'm a little bit shy on this one outer side for the Sticket, so I'm going to come in and apply a little bit more. Yeah, if you guys have any non-related questions to this class, we're here. We're good. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you didn't.
I did.
We're happy to help. So if you have any other questions about Ugly Duckling products, let us know.
That's what I was going to say. Anything UD related, we're happy to help.
Totally, because I know this class, like with the bling, it does take a little bit more time to, get everything in place. More patience with these kind of things.
Yeah, it's so satisfying to watch.
Okay. But how is it looking on your end, Natasha?
It's beautiful.
Like for clarity.
I mean, it's coming in and out. It's mostly
okay.
good. It's
okay.
just there's a lot of bling. So
I know.
Regardless,
it's
gonna happen in and out. But
okay.
we do have moments of full clarity.
Okay, so awesome. Good. Okay, now I'm just gonna come in and do one final check over. Make sure that all those areas are all any exposed little hole areas are covered with caviar beads. And then what I'll do is I sit there for a minute and I will rotate the nail and I'll look at the nail for a while, making sure everything's sparkling to my desire. And it's great because if there's little areas that, this is too big of a bead, just place it on and push it in. Okay. I think I'm getting pretty happy with this. And then what I'll do is I'll take the side of my blinger tool and I'll just, if I need to tap up on the side, just with the straight edge, that will help pull any of the little beads, any of the caviars that maybe have sunken down up a little bit. And then when you look along the side of the nail, we have a little bit of the area on either side so that the no wipe can go in. So I'm happy with that. And I might add one right in there. And then we're going to cure it.
I know we've said it, but that's one thing I really love about using Sticket for crystal application is it just gives you the flexibility to be able to move things around and move your design around until you're ready. You're happy with it until you put it in the light to cure it.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. I think I'm going to leave it at that.
The biggest crystal size used in this design, I believe, is SS16.
That is correct. Yes, so we'll do a full 60-second cure on that, and then we're going to finish it off by using our no wipe top coat to cover in between the areas. Again, this type of nail does take a lot more time to do because you do have a lot of crystals to apply, and you also have to take the time to apply the no wipe in between the areas. You can cleanse it like I had mentioned before, which is totally fine. You can take a little lint-free wipe, soak it with gel cleanse. So I'll just show you guys our gel cleanse here. We have our gel cleanse. We just soak a lint-free pad, which is great. Before having that, it was a pain. I would just use like a scrub brush with some cleanser on just to scrub around the crystals, which was more difficult to achieve when you're working with clients. But with our lint-free wipes, I soak a pad and I just go over top of it. And I also will do that with the cleanse after all my crystal designs are done. I'll show you that because some wax residue will still be on top of the crystals after it's done. The clients usually will wash their hands or whatever, so you can do either or. Okay, so now let's just scooch this out of the way, pull back in my palette, get some more no wipe top coat on there. I am working slightly close to a window, but we're good. It hasn't cured, which is great. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my detailer 2 brush, load load up my brush with no wipe, and I'm going to start going around the edges just with a little bit of no wipe. Okay, casing around those crystals and beads. Again, taking the time not to cover them. You can the little caviar beads, no problem. Avoid the crystals. And especially I find around the cuticle area the hardest, so that's when I just tip the brush up at a high 90-degree angle type thing, straight up.
You're using more of the point at that.
Exactly, and I'm just dropping that no wipe in. So I'm gonna just start from one side all the way around the cuticle area, down the other side. That way I know I have touched those areas, and then I will work my brush in between the rest of the crystals and the beads for coverage. And then I'll start at the top and go in between here, okay? Covering.
That is so sparkly.
Hi there, Danica. So just fill in all these areas around here down to the tip. And avoid touching the crystals. I have an area right there that is kind of really open to me.
Can you stick a little bead?
I'm gonna stick a bead in there. So I'm just gonna grab a big bead. Oops. Doesn't really. Oops. Oh, for Pete's sakes, guys. There we go. I thought I could do it, but it was too heavy. Okay, and now we're going to place that in. I got another one right there. It's funny, after you look, right, you always come across little areas. So you can add, and again, the no wipe will hold it in there. There we go. That's better. Okay, again, 60-second cure. And then we'll take a look. We'll compare the random one to the full contact nail and see the difference on those. Okay. Great. And then the next one we have up is going to be the, what do you call it?
The piece de resistance.
Yeah. I love it.
Rhea asked,
yes,
why can't you touch the crystals with top coat?
That's a great question. The reason why you want to avoid touching the crystals with the top coat is because it is going to affect the clarity. It's going to basically
soften the facets.
Absolutely. It still will be sparkly, but the facets will disappear, right? And the whole point of having the facets is to give that bling, that extra sparkle, the clarity, the quality of that particular crystal. The beads are okay because they're silver and they need a little bit of extra support with those because the beads are, one, more likely to get caught, and two, pickable.
Yes.
You know, clients, and as techs, we do it as well. If I'm feeling on my nail and there's a little thing, I'm more likely to pick it, right? So to have that extra security with that no wipe covering them is great. I'm glad we did the random ones so we can kind of see the different looks. So you guys tell me which one you would prefer. Which one do you like? The straight on one or the random one?
They're both beautiful.
But yes, this one would have taken a little bit longer, and actually maybe not, because we're focused on, you know, doing one line of the big and then, you know, doing the medium size and working to smaller. It just depends on the design. But when you look at this tip appears a little bit more wider than this tip, and they're the same size. So it really depends on what crystals you're using and how it pulls your eye when you're looking at the nail itself. Random. That's the thing, is the great thing about random is you don't have to be like perfection. Whereas with the straight lines, it really is harder to have that look with that perfect line, especially because they slide. You're working with different stones. I find it a bit more trickier, complicated to get that perfect This one is a lot more, I would say, more fun to achieve the look on. So that is the two options for a full bling nail. All right, now we're going to move on to the feature of the class, which is going to take some time, and we're going to be doing a 40 rows with some flat back shaped crystals. So I'm going to show you guys here. These crystals here we're going to work into our design. So we're using flat backs, and I'm going to create a beautiful, this is like the vintage inspired bridal nail bling that I personally would wear on my wedding day. And we're going to start with the 40 rows. So that's how we're going to start the design, because we're going to work our crystals around it. Now, I did mention when I was listing the list of products that we'll be using for this class, I had mentioned the 3D gel, but I've decided to change my mind and use the Fufu acrylic instead. If you guys want to use 3D gel, no problem. I will talk through what the slight difference is if you're using the 3D gel versus the acrylic when you're doing it. I just wanted to have a softer pink color with this design to kind of match more of the gel polish color that I'm going to be using as the base than using white. So that's the only change. So if you wanted to either get out acrylic if you have it available, or your 3D gel. If you're using the 3D gel, I have it here, 3D gel. So it would look like this. Got a little sparkle in there. If you're using 3D gel, what you'll need to do is get some gloves. Definitely wear some black gloves, and you'll need a little dish of water. With this product, it works best when we manipulate it with some water prior to curing. So if you need to grab some water, you can go ahead and grab some water. Ideally a duck paddle to scoop out the 3D gel, and then using silicone tools to manipulate the product in place, or a 3D brush, whatever you choose. I've got my Fufu acrylic, and I have got my Dappen dish here with our monomer all ready to go. So this is our fabulous Dappen dish with a crystal top on top here. So our liquid monomer premium acrylic. And then Natasha just stepped out for a moment, sorry. So if you guys are having any questions, I'll make sure she flicks through just to double check that we haven't missed anything. And then I'll need to grab my acrylic brush. So I will be using acrylic 10 brush. You can use a 3D brush. You can use an acrylic 8. Whatever is more comfortable for you is totally fine. So I've got my acrylic 10 ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the base so we can get our tip prepped. I'm going to grab my last tip here. And where's my post? Oh yes, we use this one here. Okay. So I am going to use one of our French colors from our French semi-sheer shades. Let's just get this on nice and straight. I'm going to move that out to the side until I need it. I am going to use number 250. This is one of my favorites. They're all amazing shades, but 250 is my choice because it's got a nice kind of like a mauve undertone, and I love the mauve shades. So I think if you can see that, if it's picking it up. So these are semi-sheer. I'm going to do 2 thin coats of number 250. I'm just going to try to find here. So that one that I'm doing is this one right here. So that's the shade I've chosen. Any of the French colors would look amazing with this design. So if you have any of those and wanted to use that instead, awesome. So we're going to come in and apply our first coat. If you want the look to be more semi-sheer, 1 coat is great. If you want to have more of a solid appearance, then just add more coats. Thin coats is no problem. So you have that option with these semi-sheer shades for the base. But each layer must be cured for a full 60 seconds. Okay. I'm going to be using Fufu acrylic. I love the look of Fufu to create the 40 rows. This is what the Fufu looks like. You can use white acrylic if you choose to. We have lots of shades in our acrylic line that can be beautiful options. I'm going to use our classic Fufu to create this one. You'll also need to have a form. I recommend a form, you know, with a little bit of wax paper on with using acrylic, because that's going to be easy removal for the petals that we're going to create on the form. Now with this type of design, I like roses. Roses is my favorite flower. So with doing a design that is like vintage inspired, I always love incorporating a rose. It's just beautiful with the embellishments of crystals, just to create that overall look. Okay, I'm just going to come in and do another coat of the number 250. Most of this nail is going to be covered anyways, because the design I'm going to be doing is going to be starting from the cuticle area, and I'm working down the tip, and I'm going to kind of create a reverse French with this. So we're going to have basically the tip will be pink, and then I'm going to do that for a full cure. And then the French area will be in the color of the gel polish. I'm just checking here to see if you guys have made comments till Natasha gets back. Oh, welcome back.
One more second.
Okay. Can I help you?
I'm looking for shade number 251.
Oh, here. One of our French
it's
colors.
My favorite one.
Is it? Yeah. I was just saying 250 is my favorite one. Natasha just said 251 is hers.
Hold on, 250 is my favorite.
Okay.
Kind of one.
It is. Yes, that's the one. Okay, good. I'm going to do one more coat, guys, just because I want a little bit more of a solid appearance. Just then. Me and Natasha have similar taste in colors. All right. Now we're going to do another 60-second cure. So you guys can get out your 3D gel, your acrylic, whatever your choice of colors.
Am I just in time?
Yes, we haven't started yet, Natasha.
Good.
So basically we just got our base done using 250 gel polish.
Excellent, excellent.
And then we're going to start with our 40 rows. I was checking for comments. I don't know if we missed any, but
Ria asks, can you leave the monomer in the dappen dish, or do you have to throw it away after using?
It's designed with the lid so that it obviously keeps in the
vapors.
So it's fine as long as it's not contaminated. Sometimes working with acrylic, you know, if you're getting any polymer beads or discoloration, it's kind of cloudy looking, don't recommend reusing that. We just, you know, say soak it up with a paper towel and just dispose of it in the garbage.
Right away.
Yeah, immediately.
Outside.
Absolutely, because it will, if you keep it in the garbage, even if it's like a sealed garbage, it still harbors that very strong odor. Mm-hmm. So not typically, depends on if you got a clean monomer or not. I just use enough to get through the set. I like to clean my dish. Yeah. That's my preference.
Sometimes I'll just pour a little tiny bit in, and if I need to add a little bit more to finish the surface, then that's what I'll do.
Absolutely. Okay, my nail friends, now we're moving on to the more complicated feature, which is the 40 rows.
I'm so excited.
I've got my liquid monomer here. We're going to just tuck this to the side. We've got the monomer here. Okay. So for those who are using the 3D gel, no problem. Have your duck paddle available. Whoops. Your gloves on and a little dish of water. Okay. As mentioned, with the 3D gel, you need to use water to help manipulate it. Pat out the petals in place. The same form that I'm doing with the 3D with the acrylic is going to be the same for the 3D gel.
Yep.
The only difference is obviously is the acrylic is going to set. We're on more of a time limit. Mm-hmm. And the 3D gel will not set until you expose it to the rechargeable lamp. Okay? So, got my gel brush or my acrylic brush ready. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just have on the corner of my form, I'm going to put a little dab of Sticket, okay, just on the corner, because when I create my rows, No, I changed my mind. We're going to do it directly on top. That's if you're pre-doing. If you're pre-doing flowers, I would put a little bit of Sticket on the form and I would work my rows around that for storage for later. But because I'm going to be doing it directly over top of the tip, I don't need to do that. So I was just getting ahead of myself a little bit. No problem. All right, let's jump into it. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start with the center of the rose, okay? And we're going to create very thin, almost like a soft horseshoe shape. Very soft, because we're going to roll it up. That's going to be our longest, I guess, petal center that we're going to create for this design, okay? So, and the thing is, getting the right consistency of liquid to powder and the curing time, the setting time can vary. And sometimes I miss it, where it's like, oh no, it's too hard, I got to start again. So that's sometimes just getting familiar with the room temperature, how big I'm going to create my design or my flower, how much product's used. We don't want to use a whole lot because we really want this flower to look delicate. We don't want it to look bulky, have thick petals, because it's just going to bulk out the design. So we want to make sure we're using a thin amount.
When you were talking about that, what came to mind for a good, oh my gosh, comparison is, you know, when you're making pancakes and the first pancake can either be like perfection or not so great.
Totally.
Sometimes the first petal is like that. You're just getting used to the temperature in your room, your product ratio. So
love that analogy.
Thank you.
Great. Honestly, I'm telling you. Felt lost when you left.
I know, honestly. I know. I was panicking a little bit.
No, it's okay. It's just me and Natasha, we've always worked together. We've, go to trade shows together. We've just always been a duo team, and it's,
when the other one's not around,
it just feels not right. Something's off. You don't have someone to bounce off of.
That's right.
So I'm just patting and pressing this out thin. I've got time with it. I still can feel it. Like if I were to flick it up, it's still too wet. It'll just kind of melt together. So I am just creating, basically the width here is going to be the height of the center, right? So if you do it super wide, it's going to be super big. So we just want it to be very short. But again, it depends on what design you want, how big you want your flowers, what finger you're doing it on. All of that comes into play. I'm pressing a little bit more harder on the back of the brush. It's kind of creating more little bristles, like
texture.
Thank you. Which is nice. It helps to thin it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm coming in here because I'm not familiar with the temperature yet. I'm going to try and start rolling it. So I'm just going to move everything up so I'm out of the comment section. And I'm just going to flick up the corner with the tip of my brush, and it's starting to come up. And the great thing about doing it on the forms is that the shiny surface really helps to get that up. And I'm just going back and forth. If I need to add a little bit more monomer on my brush, I will. And now I'm going to lift it up, which is starting to lift up like this. You guys can see.
Perfect.
And I'm going to start to roll it together like a Tootsie Roll. Is that correct?
Or almost like, like a Tootsie Roll, or like you're rolling up a
cinnamon bun. Thank you. I like cinnamon bun better. And I'm just going to keep working it and then rolling it. Working it off, rolling it. Working it off on both sides, rolling it. I think this is going to be the top of my rose. Sometimes it depends on how it turns out. I could use either or. Just keep rolling it, but we don't want to press too much on it where we're going to squish it together. If that makes sense. We want to have that little gap in between, kind of where the icing goes on the cinnamon bun. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because right now you're making the bud. You're making the
just making the center, and it can be tight. There we go. Guess what? It's not always going to turn out. There's many times where I've created roses where I've done 10 petals and I've only used 5. You know what I mean? Yep. So that varies. Making sure it's completely rolled over. It's nice and tight. We don't want this lip to be poking out because it's really going to affect the other petals that we apply. So I'm going to roll over. I think everything looks good. Happy with that. Now what we're going to do is come in and apply it with Sticket onto our tip. Okay, and the design I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be centering our 40 rows right in the cuticle area at the top. That's where I'm going to create that feature.
Perfect.
Okay. Grabbing my Sticket, which is somewhere around here. There we go. Okay. Just a little dab, just enough to hold it in place. And I'm gonna do it not right at the top because I have to envision me wrapping petals around it, right? And creating that design.
Now, Cuticle, for your clients, is this something that you would try and prepare ahead of time?
100%.
Yeah.
The rose, yes. Okay, can we see the center?
Looks great.
It's kind of a little foggy, but that's okay. And then from there, thank you, Natasha, we're going to start creating more petals. That's the only one we're going to use Sticket on, because what we're going to do is we're going to basically pick up the petal with it still that tacular. Thank you. And start to wrap it around. So that first one that I did would have been too dry to achieve. So I'm going to make sure that I start to take the petal up a little bit sooner. So again, just a little small size bead. We don't need them huge because we're starting in the center, and the center is always going to be the smallest petals and then the biggest ones on the outside. And this is a bit time consuming, so bear with me. And again, I just kind of create like almost like a moon shape, horseshoe shape, crescent. Crescent.
You're doing good, dude. You're doing good. You got it.
I love it. Sometimes I say things that don't make sense here at Ugly Duckling Nails, and Natasha looks at me kind of like, what? So I'm always like questioning what I say. My descriptive words.
But you know
That's
what,
okay.
though? You know what? We've been friends for long enough that I understand what you're saying.
You do. I don't even have to explain other than like,
Sometimes I like to pretend that I don't understand them just to make you keep trying to explain it to me.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. Try that size. It might be a bit too big, but we'll see. It'll just wrap around a bit more. So it's just taking the time to create each little petal. Again, this is time consuming, so you want to make sure you charge for your work.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is why I left this one to last. This is going to be my favorite. We're going to start to slowly poke up the sides. No, it's still too wet. So we just have to let it set a little bit more. Again,
it is a bit of a waiting game, but this is something that you can't really rush.
It's patience for sure. And again, it's no different from nail art. Like if you're doing like a hand-painted design, the nail art Natasha does takes hours sometimes.
It's a process.
Like a set, if you're doing a set, I should say. So it is a process. No different from this, right? It's definitely... Okay, so see how I'm flicking up? I'm going to slide it, slowly slide it off. I'm not curling this one. Ooh, shoot. It's okay. Oh no.
Oh, no.
You guys, I just stuck it in my Sticket. I thought it was the monomer. Shoot, it's okay.
Here, you're good.
It's just because I got to get this, I think I got it. I got it, or else I'm going to lose this petal. And then you guys are going to be waiting here extra long. Oh gosh, okay.
You got it, you're good.
I got it.
It's perfection.
Yes, but I got to move quick, guys, because it is setting. That's the bonus about 3D, is that you're good. So I'm going to pick one side. I'm going to attach it. Shoot.
No, you're good.
Yeah,
I
think I got it.
You got it.
And that little oopsie-daisy kind of just gave it character on that petal.
Well,
and then you know what I mean?
roses sometimes, and they do have little...
Shoot.
You're good.
Okay, sometimes you got to fight with it, okay? I fight with it. So if you're fighting with it, it's completely normal. What I'm trying to do is kind of roll the edges out. So I'll take my brush and flip the petals out so it's not poking straight up and it's curling like a natural petal. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay, you know what? That didn't... You know what? Sometimes we overthink things, but,
That's the nice thing about you wearing gloves, too,
is I can touch it.
Yeah.
Which I did. Perfect. Okay. And we just want to, basically what we're doing is wrapping around. So these edges here, we don't want them poking out too much because again, I got to pull in another one and wrap it this way. But that'll be good enough. The next petal I'm going to do is now cuff this way. And I just basically going back and forth, right?
And the thing is, when you're doing these, sometimes your roses are going to be more open and sometimes they're going to be more closed. It's just the way it is. And that's how roses are anyways. So
There's never, well, roses are perfect actually. They're a perfect looking flower in my opinion.
This is well on its way to be looking like beautiful, perfect rose.
Okay.
Back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I moved the Sticket.
Thank you. Honestly, that was funny. The resistance I got with my brush coming out, it was not coming fast. Okay. So again, we're going to create another petal. I don't want it too long because I've got a small area. Should put my rose right there. I got a small area where I'm going to wrap around that side.
And I guess the longer that you make it, the more you have to wrap around.
That is correct, which makes it a bit more tricky. So I find, especially working your way out, you want to work small in the middle. And then outer side gets a bit bigger, depending on, because that's the final one.
Right.
You kind of have it open. You guys will see. So if you're doing this with a 3D gel, Natasha,
Yes.
you're just working on your glove
Yep.
right here.
You got it.
Basically pull out of the 3D, place a little bead on, and you use your silicone tools or the 3D brush with a little bit of water and patting it down. And you've got all the time in the world to work with that because it will not cure on you. It will not set until it's exposed to
UV or LED light.
That's correct.
And the thing is, when you're working with 3D gel, when you're building a 3D or 4D element like this, you actually want to use a little bit of water from keeping your brush from sticking to the gel. Not gel cleanse. Gel cleanse will kind of break it down slightly as you're working with it, so just keep in mind to work with water if you are using 3D gel. But Cuticle is using, of course, our premium acrylic system here today.
Because I changed the color, I wanted to use a soft, delicate, more vintage color.
More bridal.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And we have amazing colors in our acrylic lineup.
We do.
So take a look at our website.
Ooh, shimmer mauve would be beautiful.
I used to use a lot of sparkle, like a colored acrylics to create these roses.
Yep.
It's possible, but with the heavier sparkle, it's a little bit more tricky to get that fine detail in the petals. But the shimmer mauve would be amazing. How's everybody doing?
Everyone is good. We have people joining.
Oh, great.
And I think people are just really paying attention. Or they're working along. One of the
And
two.
if you guys are joining us for review.
Yep.
Review. Yeah, just honestly, if you guys are doing any of these designs, please tag us. We want to see what you've done, created with our products. Please tag me at Cuticle. I'll have that in the description once we're finished our live. I want to see what you guys are doing. I want to see all your beautiful crystal work. It makes me happy. So tag us at Ugly Duckling Nails, Ugly Duckling Nail Products, Cuticle. Thank you. So as you can see, the petal is getting a bit wider. So basically, I have an idea in my mind how the rose is going to turn out, but it always turns out how it's going to turn out. You know, just depending on the placement, how many petals I do. So it is, you know, more of a open rose in this case. You can have ones that are tighter, so you have more definition in the center and then create the petals outside. But I'm going to kind of pull those down a little bit because I still have time to manipulate. So you can see how I'm kind of pushing the petals down, because at the end of the day, we're going to have some big areas in here that, what are we going to do with that? You know, we're going to put some pointed backs in there to kind of fill it in. So you can either create a rose that's more flat to the nail and have the petals touching with nothing around it, no exposed little hidden areas.
Crevices.
I was going to say crevices. Or you can add some pointed backs, which I think that's what we're going to do because it's all about bling today.
Highlight Contour More says this is so beautiful.
Oh, thank
I
you.
agree. It looks.
Thank you.
I mean, it's beautiful on camera, but in person, it's so neat to see it. You can really see the details of from when Cuticle pushed her brush into the petals. You can see the lines, kind of almost like veining in the petals from the brush.
Yeah, it's just trying to give it some definition. And the goal with the 3D 40, I would say, is that the thickness, really focusing on making sure you got the product thin. When I do this petal, I'll show you from the side how thin it is, okay? Because it's going to basically, I'll show you this one. It's like very thin. Might be hard to capture in the camera, but
no, I think you can
we're
see
okay. If you apply and you need to take off some, just chop it off. So now basically I've got to work on the other side. So I'm going to create an equally big petal. So I think I've got maybe 2 more to do, this one included.
Do you think working thinner helps too, just with the curing and everything? It gives you that time and that flexibility.
Totally. I find if I do it thicker, it cures. It sets pretty darn fast.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to manipulate it.
Yes.
Get it off. Yeah. So the timing is not right for the curing process. And again, when you pick out the bead, for example, you can just remove some extra monomer on the paper towel so that it's not super wet.
Saturated.
Yes.
And wet.
So I want to kind of have that up there so we can see. Guess what, guys? I'm going to be blinging up my nails tomorrow. Let's say it's been a long time. Only because I can't type that easily with long nails. So that is one reason why I keep them short typically. But I'm going long tomorrow. So guess what? They're going to be blinged out. So check out my social media for pictures.
Oh my goodness. Check out my social media for pictures.
I'm going to be doing our new neon colors. So we just launched our neon gel polish colors. And whew, they are bright. I'll show you guys what they look like. I have them here because I wanted to share just a recommendation on crystals I would use with the neons that
That's a great idea.
just would make perfect. Anyways, I'll show you guys in a second. So I'm just working off the petal and we're stuck here. So I just gotta, and it's kind of good because I've created a lot of definition in that petal just with getting it off. So I'm gonna come in, place it on underneath. It turned out bigger than I was going to do, which is okay. But like I said, it really depends on, you know, getting familiar with the size of petals that you're going to do. So for example, I'm going to try to lay this one a little bit more flat so I don't have to put a pointed back under here. So all I'm going to do is kind of press it out, press that down onto the gel polish just a little bit. Okay. I'll put a pointed back in here because it's got a good area to do so. But this one's going to be more delicate. Not a whole lot of petals. Just for time as well. Sometimes it could take me half an hour to do one rose, right?
I think everybody's loving watching you work, so you're fine.
Good.
Good.
Okay, so now I'm gonna do another petal in the front and I might tuck one in the back, okay? So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys here. Let's do, so if you're picking up a bead, right, picking up a bead, small bead, maybe a little bit more, little small bead, just remove the extra monomer from your brush onto the paper towel just to remove, just to remove extra so then you don't have to chase. You do not have to chase it as it self-levels. Just gonna give that a second.
I think that's the thing too with 3D is some people want to jump in right away and try and start manipulating the product right away, but it's different from when you're sculpting an actual nail as opposed to sculpting 3D elements. You kind of have to let that acrylic sit for a few seconds before you get in there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you can create roses that have more of a pointed petal, so you just kind of push and create a point, which also looks beautiful. Whatever you like. Natasha did a beautiful flower. What was it? We both did the cover of 2018. It was 2018.
Was it?
Yes, because that was before COVID.
Yes.
We shared a cover of Nail Pro, and I did a rose, and she did, what kind of flower would you call that?
I just made it up.
She just made it up. Well, it was beautiful, but it had a lot of petals to it. That would have taken probably a good 2 hours.
Essentially, they were all like rolled
up like a
cone, kind of.
I was gonna say like a tortilla shellish, like a folded in.
Yep.
Dorito, a folded in Pringle chip type thing. I'm terrible.
No, you're good. Can you tell we're hungry? Everything we're doing we're relating
Food.
to food.
This, that.
Highlight contour more says, would you use the same size bead for 3D gel to do the petals? It's not necessarily based on the product, right? Christicle, you go right ahead.
No, yeah, that's great. It just depends on the size of the rose that you're doing. I would have done a smaller rose with the 3D just because I have more control, I find, with the 3D, to be honest with you. Because I don't have to worry about it setting. So it depends on how big the rose you want to do.
Rhea says, don't they break easily?
I have never found them to be an issue. If it's super thin, yes, if people are banging their hands, totally. You could have just the issue of just some of the corners coming off, but I have worn them a lot. And the acrylic is pretty strong and the gel is pretty strong.
I think it also helps too when you add it in a cluster with crystals. The crystals kind of help add a little bit of like a perimeter around it, so it protects it a little bit. But
yes, I mean, for sure.
They are delicate for sure, but they're not for somebody who's going to be doing
gardening
or gardening or anything like that for sure.
No. All right. I'm just trying to.
That looks so beautiful.
I'm just trying to kind of pull down the side so we have less gaps in here. Nope. Let's pull this back up. That's a great thing is that too is like just manipulating the outer edges to have it kind of, you get the ripple, the curl effect of them. Just having a look, seeing what I've kind of decided. I think I might leave it and just tuck some bling around and just create the rest of it with the bling, because I'm gonna start getting too many petals in my opinion, and then if I do, I won't have that space to put in the bling. Okay, I'll just leave it at that for now. And it doesn't look like much now, but
doesn't look like much. It looks beautiful.
No, but like until you add the bling, like it's just kind of not. Oh,
it's not finished.
Yeah, the vision sometimes, like if you're are not used to creating this kind of design, is what I'm trying to say. Is it's like, oh, you just trust the process. Trust the process. Okay, you guys. So now what we're gonna do is bring out our bling. Ooh, and I didn't prepare any pointed back crystals for that. So I think the clear. Do we have some clear in there? I think I should have.
We don't, but you know what might look
They
beautiful?
should be. If not, I can grab some.
What about the champagne?
No, that's okay. Is it not in that one there?
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm being a bad assistant.
That's okay. 2 seconds, guys. I have some here.
Perfect.
I just got to open up the packages. Yeah, I like crystals. It wasn't the intention of this design, but it worked out to where I can.
Do you need me to run and grab something? She's just looking through her stash.
Sorry,
of
guys.
crystals.
Yeah, 2 seconds. We've got so many. It's unbelievable. I can even just do some. Here, why don't we? I've got some ABs, I think, here. Don't I? White opals. Perfect. We'll incorporate some white opals around the side. They'll still look nice.
Very bridal.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. Okay. Thanks for your patience, you guys. I've got some. If you don't mind, Natasha, could you open those for me?
Betcha.
And also, maybe we'll do some pink. So,
Ooh.
you guys show you. We've got some rose opal. I keep saying pink, but rose opal. These are all they're all turned over because it's Natasha's spilling crystals everywhere. So we'll incorporate some of those because,
oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Wow, she's just chucking them at me. That's okay. Thank you. No worries. It's all good. Okay. So we're going to take our Sticket, get our blinger out, and we're going to start to kind of basically, thank you, Natasha, we're going to work our way just around the outer sides because we got to fill in some of those gaps. And in this case, we're just going to apply the Sticket where we need it for now. Okay? So we're going to pick up, and I'm just going to fill in the biggest gap. So basically what I do is tuck it in there and Lift it up around the petals, a little bit on the nail, just enough so that that crystal will fit in there nicely. We also got to talk about removal as well, which I can go over. I'll explain on the one I did with the full contact nail afterwards, okay? Okay.
I'm glad you remembered because I forgot.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, look at that. That's going to be so beautiful. So we're going to put in, it might be too big. It is too big. And you need a little bit more bling down here. So instead of using that one, I'm going to maybe use, let's do a round. And that's the thing is you don't know if it doesn't work, take it out, try a different one. See that one sticks in nice. I'm just going to angle it on the side. Okay. Again, I've got some exposed Sticket there, which of course I don't want to be curing it without anything on top. So I'll come in and add some beads around it because I'm going to anyways.
What do you need?
Just having a look. No, that's okay. I'll just stick with the crystals actually right here.
Yeah?
I couldn't find them. They're right in front of me. So then I'm just going to come in with some of these other crystals and tuck in just on that area where we've got some Sticket. Okay, so for now, oh, am I out? Sorry, my apologies. Thank you. I'm going to cure that in place for now, just to have a very quick cure. And then again, a final cure at the end, just enough to hold that in place so that it's not shifting away, running down the nail. And then I'm going to come in, take some more, just tuck it in that little gap area here because the idea is to fill around, especially with where those petals come, so that we don't have any
gaps.
Correct. Looking at Natasha like I'm quizzing her. Just because they get caught so easily. What a great, I wasn't actually going to use the rose opal, but it works really nice in this situation here. Okay, tuck that one in. And then I'm just going to do a quick cure to hold that into place. And we're going to go all the way around the rose and then start to work out with some crystals to create the reverse French line. I don't think you were here when I said that. So this design is going to be a reverse French line.
Wow.
So the pink 250 gel polish will be the French tip. And then the nail bed, elongated, will be all the crystals.
That's beautiful.
Okay. Again, we'll take a bit more Sticket. Hi, Amy. Amy's stuck in here trying to be quiet because she doesn't like it when we talk to her on social media, and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna call her out.
Okay, I'm here.
Yeah. Nice try. That's all right. And then I'm going to tuck in this one here. I love this one.
Which one is that one? Is it the rectangle, or the rectangle, like a baguette?
Yes, thank you. Okay. Again, we're just gonna do a quick cure, hold it in place. Oh,
Rosie's here.
Rosie says hi. She wants her nails blinged out. And we're just gonna keep going back and forth, just adding around there to fill in the gaps. Again, you have to have patience. It is time consuming, but we want to make sure that all of those areas are full.
So worth it though.
It is worth it, definitely. Now we're starting to get to smaller areas where, for example, like here, the smallest pointed back is going to be too big. So what I'll do in this case is I might take a bigger flat back and I'll just angle it. Tuck it in there, okay? Just like that. We have areas of now Sticket that we need to cover before we cure it. So I'll tuck in some of the bigger beads. That's what I like about the caviar beads with the variation of sizing, is that you can use the bigger beads to fill in those gaps, and it's absolutely perfect for that. Okay. Again, we're going to go back and do a quick cure. This type of work, I definitely do quick cures in between smaller applications, just so I have better control over my crystal placement.
Stuff's not sliding everywhere.
Absolutely.
And typically you're most likely doing this on one on each hand, so you're working back and forth.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to tuck in here. Again, it's a small area, but I'm just going to put a nice big SS16 back there, fill in, and then we'll start pulling the smaller ones out. So your challenge for this week, you guys, is to create one of these beautiful 40 roses, whether it's with acrylic or 3D gel, and tag us. I want to see what you guys do with your flowers.
We've got a couple Ugly Duckling pages, so make sure you take this one, Ugly Duckling Nails, and then Ugly Duckling Products. And then, of course, tag Cuticle too, so she can see your designs. Your
creations. Yeah. I'll make a post after we're done the class with all that information too, just so you remember. Would be great. Okay, so now we've filled in all the nooks and crannies, as I will say. We're going to take in these little crystal flatbacks and just fill around the cuticle area. Now that we've tapered off and we have smaller areas to fill in. Okay, so we can see it around there. So it's kind of, you know, the rose is obviously the feature. And then we've got some of the smaller embellishments going around. The most important thing with doing a big cluster design like this is filling in any areas that can get caught, okay? For that purpose, as well as, you know, we don't want things to get stuck in there.
And the crystals underneath are actually helping support those petals as well.
They are, absolutely. So that also will help prevent any breakage because they're quite high up and curved like that. Yeah. If there wasn't anything under there, which there should be, because it's not, it wouldn't last in that case.
Ria says, okay, I'm totally in love with this.
Great.
She will lash. She's giving you a round of applause and says, bravo. Alexandra says, so pretty.
Awesome. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so now I'm just going to come in under this front petal. We got to fill in a little bit. Let's see here. I'm so happy it turned out the way it did, because the original one I was going to do was not with pointed backs. So bonus. And the rose opal is they're actually gorgeous. We have rose opal, white opal, and blue opal. So you guys definitely have to take a look at all the crystal options we have.
It's a great time to stock up if you have never tried.
Yes.
We definitely Clears My Crystals, because if you use Crysticle's discount code, which I'm going to post in the comments
Thank you.
Cristicle15, you get 15% off of purchases made on uglyducklingnails.com.
That's correct. Okay, and you guys are being super patient, but you know what is worth it when you see the final results. And when you do them, even though it takes time and whatnot, it's totally worth it in the end. So now what I'm doing is we've got a bit of a hole in between here, and I just placed 3 big caviar beads and it just sunk down again. So I'm going to add a 4th one. Sometimes what I'll do is just build it up like that, because we want to fill in that area, which is no problem.
It's called cramming.
Is that what you call it? Okay, and then I'll take another flat back and just place it in, because sometimes, we want to fill in areas that unfortunately are, too small for the smallest pointed backs.
Oh, that's so true. Highlight Contour More says, I love how you can see the opal gem through the petal. It's such a pretty effect.
Yes, I know. Oh, that is. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that. That's cool.
You meant to do that, right?
Of course. Yes. Honestly, I'm happy with this one. I'm pleased. I'm going to be staring at it all day.
You feeling good inside the bones?
Good inside the bones. All right. Again, just a quick cure, making sure everything stays in place. We don't have the embellishment sliding. Okay, now what we're going to do is start to work our way around this area, because we're going to fill in to about maybe center here with that reverse smile line. I'm not going to apply all of it at once, because once we start working down at the reverse smile line area here, we're going to start getting very dainty and small caviar beads. Okay, so again, this is where we just apply in sections. But I'm going to start tapering down now with some crystal flatbacks. Could you do me a favor?
Yeah,
Could you see if there's any rose opal in there? I think there should be flatbacks. I don't know if I have the flat. Yeah, just in the.
Yep.
Thank you. But it's good because it's nice. You can mix the crystals with any of the colors, and it just really goes well with any color, to be honest. You know, not the big ones, but maybe 3 sizes. Yeah, let's do that, Natasha. Let's do all 3 sizes of the small, please. Thank you. And yeah, you can just open them. I'll dump them on my palette. Eventually, by the end of this, we're gonna have a perfect mixture, a concoction of all sizes. I knew it wouldn't last long. That's okay. Natasha's just opening some new ones. I think I want to stick with the rose opal on this one just because it looks so beautiful. Thank you.
I don't want to put my hands in camera.
Oh.
My hands have no nails on them.
Okay. They will tomorrow.
They will.
Okay, thank you, Natasha. It's good to see these too because obviously, you know, I say crystal's my favorite because it's very
Reflective.
yes. But in this case, because we're working with that vintage inspired bridal theme nails, these ones, the opals are perfect for that. Thank you, Natasha.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I do have to say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but even our black, we have, we call it jet,
That's correct.
and even the black, they're not see-through, but they're cut in a way that they're so reflective.
One more size bigger do we have? Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Yeah, let's see. What is it?
10?
10? Let's see the 10. Sure. Let's see what the 12 is. Yeah, can you open the here? I'll do 12, you do 10. Sorry. I think just with doing them all, I like to have all the sizing because it just really helps with thank you, Natasha. I'll just throw some on there. There we go. Perfect. That's better. Okay. So I'm going to work with the SS12s just up here because it is obviously a bigger area. We're still quite close to all of the pointed backs. So I want to kind of keep the thicker ones up here. And we're going to taper down slowly with the other sizes. Where's everybody joining us from today? I never asked that actually in the beginning.
Yeah, we usually do.
Just kind of curious to know where you guys are, where you're from. We're located in Victoria, BC, Ugly Duckling headquarters.
We're at the head office.
Yes, we are. Love it. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more because we're going to come around this side, keep it balanced.
We've got Trinidad, we've got Denmark,
Wow.
we've got Spain, we've got Orlando.
Wow.
Langford Lake, that's just around the corner.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
nice.
down by West Hills.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Mhm.
You never know. Similar. Awesome. Great. Okay. Just tuck it in. And now I'm going to throw in a crystal. Switch it up.
Spice it up.
Yeah, because he can mix them, which is great. I love that. And then I'm going to make sure I incorporate the beads as well.
Oh my goodness.
What's-
Norway,
Oh,
Ireland,
wow.
Denmark, Belgium, Kitchener, Ontario,
Wow.
Trinidad, South Africa, Airdrie, Northwest Territories. People from all over.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for joining today. We're excited with all our online classes each month that we're offering. So we to show you guys some awesome education, product support.
And we get to have fun.
Oh, I know. Okay, I'm just filling in the sides here, right? With all the little beads. Filling in the gaps. As you can see, like picking up with the wax tip comes off so easily.
And again,
Okay.
you're not really applying any pressure.
Not at all. And you know what? Sometimes it's like when I'm doing work, it's like I have a thought, what I'm going to do, what the plan is, but sometimes it changes. You know what I mean?
You just gotta roll with it.
Just depends how things are sitting, how I'm feeling. And I'm just going to come in on these sides. I got a little bit more area to fill in on the sides of this area. Whenever we're working like with crystals on a full nail, having the smaller ones on the outside is most important. We want to avoid, you know, creating that illusion of a bulkier nail. Sometimes what I do, because I know like if I'm doing like, let's say the full contact nail we did earlier, if I'm just doing it on one nail and the rest are gel polished, sometimes I'll make it that nail a little bit thinner filed wise, if that makes sense, to give room for that extra bulk on the crystals. I did a set once and didn't do that, and it was a learning lesson, but it completely looked a lot thicker and basically like a different nail because it was a bit thicker with the bling. And it's not that I used necessarily a lot of big bling, it just made the illusion of that bulkier nail. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just add a little bit more around the area that we have the Sticket exposed, right? Because we don't want to cure it exposed or else we're going to have lumps. And then I'm going to work on the next section, the last section. Okay. Maybe I'll throw in a crystal.
I think this is definitely for a bougie bride.
It is, yes. And I said I don't think you're in here when I had mentioned, but for my wedding nails, 100%.
Yeah, you're gonna do them.
You're gonna do them. You know what I mean?
Amy on one hand, me on the other. Right, Dave?
Yay. Well, because it's gonna be a week affair, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna take forever.
We're gonna have to book a week off work.
Yeah. To get my nails done for it. Okay, so here's an example. We could leave this. We can have some that kind of taper down, like that waterfall effect, which also would be beautiful. Okay. And this is where I'm deciding now if that's what we're going to do because of how it's transpired. Now, and the reason why I say that is because the rose is bigger than initially I intended it to be. So that is just the feature look. So could you imagine having a couple waterfall trickle down, or we can create more of a smile line. Let's go with the smile line because that's the initial plan. And see how it looks. And let's say, for example, I don't like it. I can take it off because it's uncured. Just wipe it off with some silicone tools.
Bingo.
And then clean it up and just top coat it. No big deal. So that's the beautiful thing about this is that you just, you know, play with it.
The silicone tools are awesome to have on hand because they really do. It's very easy to clean up any mistakes with gel, whether you're hand painting or with Sticket. With the silicone tools, really makes it a breeze.
Exactly. So now basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the dotting tool. I'm applying that reverse French line in place because that is where the last crystals are going to go. And I just want to kind of taper it. I don't want to take it too wide because again, I've done one where I pulled the crystals too far over and it just didn't look right. So I really want to utilize the smaller embellishments around the smile line now. And then I'm going to fill in this area here. Again, we don't want too much Sticket, but we want enough that it's going to hold. Working with the smaller crystals now, we don't have to worry about applying too much. Okay. If, for example, you put on too much and you're like, oh, shoot, like I know that's going to drown them, you can remove some. You know, just remove some. Take a gel brush, again, silicone tool, and just remove some extra. So now what I'm going to do to get closer to finishing this one is we're going to basically outline our reverse smile line. I find that the easiest, and then fill in kind of backwards. And if I need to apply any of the smaller caviar beads around, I'll do so afterwards. So what I'm going to do is take the smallest pointed back crystal, which is the SS3 in the rose opal. I'm going to place it down at the lowest part of our smile line. Okay. And then I might take the next size up. Go up a little bit, leaving room for me to tuck in those caviar beads. And then I'll grab a bead, start to place it in between. That's why I always have 2 platters available with my nail bling because I find that if I'm doing multiple colors, it's nice to be able to have that option of just shifting over a tray and having what I need on one tray so that they don't get too mixed. I might take a bigger one in the center, and then what I'm going to do is start to work my way out on both sides so that I have balanced application, if that makes sense, okay? Because sometimes because we're getting to the delicate area of the design, if you're putting a bigger stone here and a smaller stone here, it might throw the balance off a little bit. Again, it doesn't matter, completely preference, but I try to balance it as much as possible if I can avoid. Okay. Might stick in a bigger bead in the center. And honestly, working with the caviar beads, it really gives a whole different depth. A lot more to look at, a lot more surface area for reflection. I don't do any of my beadwork without them. Would you have to agree?
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm just thinking back to when we were newer nail techs and crystals weren't like a huge thing, and you would have like 2 different sizes of big crystals trying to put them next to each other.
Oh, I know.
Big gaps, and we're like, oh, we love it, but caviar beads, incorporating them totally changed the game for sure.
Oh, totally. I found a set of the first crystals I did, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, I really thought it was great. And I'm like, ooh, they were like 3 big ones, like the biggest ones possible around the cuticle area, and that was it. I remember I did on my sister.
Which, you know what, some people may love that.
Oh,
totally
no, for sure.
But it's amazing how, I think just kind of put together it looks when you add just a few caviar beads just to tie it all together.
And I think in saying that, the reason why, like, looking back is because it was so easily caught, like things being,
yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, yeah, I found they just got in the way more.
They weren't encased with
That's
anything.
right. Just because the size or the ledges of the crystals would always get caught. So I find having this, it really helps to prevent that.
Totally.
I think I put that too big of one on the side, but that's okay. Honestly, I'm pleased with the turnout of this because I was not going to use these colors, and it looks just beautiful. Like, I love this color, the rose opal.
I really like mixing the opal crystals with crystal.
Yes, I agree. How's everybody doing?
It's good.
Can't wait to see what you guys come up with, honestly. And what you do. And if you're intimidated by crystals, don't be, honestly. Don't. Just try it out, you know. If you have any questions, you know, if you're not working along and you choose to, you know, do some work after watching this live, if you have any questions, you can let us know if, you know, you're experiencing whatever it may be for the first time users of Sticket or our pointed or clear as mud crystals. We're here to help you through that. Okay, let's have a look. Now I just got to stare, make sure we're balanced a little bit. We're getting close. Now what I'm going to do is take some of the smallest beads, and I'm just going to fill in the areas around the smile line, and I think we're getting pretty close.
That looks really nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the great thing about, like I said, working on a tip versus a client, I can just easily shift my metal post on my crystal tip display to maneuver easily around the sides. Yeah. Couple more along the side, up on this right side, and then we're pretty much there. Oh man.
Looks great.
I kind of want to wear my nails like this.
You would.
Okay, let's have a look, guys. Okay, and I'm very picky with this smile line. Got to make sure everything's balanced. Make sure the crystals are in place. If we've got any that moved, any areas that I may need to add, I can shift, no big deal. Okay. I think I'm happy with that.
Oh, the rose opal on that. It's $250 that you use.
$250, guys.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's cure a good thing. Let's cure a good thing. This is what I mean, is like you can just go on and on forever, and you know what I mean?
You betcha.
All right, guys, we're almost done. You guys have been super patient. And then we're going to do a final reveal of all the nails that we did today.
I know I've loved watching you work, and I'm sure I can speak for everybody that's watching right now, and people that are watching the replay later on, that I'm sure they've loved it just as much.
Yeah, I think as nail techs, we like some things that we just love to watch other people work. I know, like when you're doing your nail art, you're even swatching different colors and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
So thank you guys for all of that. I'm just gonna just put together what we've done. Well, that's curing. Just so we can see the final reveals. Okay, so let's have a peek. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. There it is. Now we have to finish off with a top coat. So we're going to grab our no wipe top coat. You know what would also look nice is a moonstone too.
Ooh.
Like, you know what I mean? If you had some moonstone on that. We're not going to do that today, but like just, you could apply moonstone right now over top of this, just in the areas obviously that are exposed, and then put the magnet on or just swipe a section. There's so much you could do to create extra effects. What? You want to see it? Okay. Let's try it. Let's try it. Natasha convinced me. Twist my arm.
I think it will look so beautiful.
And this is all about experimentation. If it doesn't look good, I'm going to wipe it off.
Yeah, that's no problem.
But if it looks amazing, this is where, you know, having that extra, not extra, I mean the top coat, you know, as an option to create extra bling factor is, why not? Okay, let's see.
Highlight, contour more. Don't worry. All the free classes that we're doing this year are going to be available for rewatch. Once Crysticle's done today, we're going to save it to Instagram here, and then we'll be uploading it later today to YouTube, and then linking it on our Facebook page as well. So no worries. Crysticle's class and the previous classes we've hosted are going to be available for rewatch.
Okay, let's see what we can do, you guys. Let's see.
You got this.
Let's experiment. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? I need to know from you guys. You guys get to choose. Either say yay or nay. Can we see it okay?
Yeah, we can see it.
So you've got some color on the side, a little bit of that opal effect. Is that correct? Which kind of goes hand in hand with it.
And there is a
delay.
Say yay.
Okay. Let's have a look.
It is beautiful.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Is that what we're going to do?
I think so. We're getting yay with...
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to redo it because it just sat a little long, and I just want to... This is, again, with this kind of top coat, is you can keep playing with it. I'm going to do one more and just give that effect again.
That's a good point, actually.
What's that?
When you're using a cat eye, you kind of want to work back and forth nail to nail, because if you use the magnet and you go to work on other nails without curing,
it's going to shift.
It's going to shift. It's going to self-level. So kind of work back and forth when you're using a cat eye. No worries, Ethnic Nails. We're reposting Crysticle's class on Instagram here, and then it'll also be uploaded later to our Ugly Duckling YouTube channel and linked on Facebook as well. And you can view the other 3 classes that we've hosted so far this year also. And we have some more classes coming up throughout the year. 2024 is the year of
education.
Yeah, education. And we wanted to make a free class every month for all of our ducklings, or those that maybe have never used Ugly Duckling before and are curious about it.
That's correct. Natasha, could you pass me the neon colors while this is curing? No, right here, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah, I just want to show, we just launched these beautiful neons. So these are our latest collection. Oh, no, sorry. This is a 12-pack. I didn't actually grab the 6-pack. It might be over there. It might not be. Which is no problem. So this is our 12-pack. That's okay. 12-pack that we, I'll show you which ones are new out of this one. The 12-pack neon collection that is available on our website for 10% off. But if you buy them individually, you get 15% off for the 3 days. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So this pink, this orange, this yellow, this green, this blue, and this purple are the new 6 neons that I'm going to be wearing on my nails. And what I recommend with neons, I love, especially pinks, is AB crystals.
Oh, yeah.
AB crystals look so good on pink. So that is what I'm going to be doing. I'll be posting, obviously, a picture of what those look like. So you guys can see what I mean. All right, there we have it.
Wow.
Oh, whoa.
So pretty.
What a great idea with doing that moonstone. It just adds a little extra depth to it. Honestly.
Wow.
Oh, okay, what did Caitlin say? Missed you beautiful ladies when I swung in today, but I saw all the new colors and I'll be in again soon. Amazing. Sorry we missed you.
Oh, hi, darling.
Yes. But we'll see you next time.
We'll see you on the flip side.
Yeah. Okay, let me just get these all in order. Okay, I'm going to do the full, that one.
Wow, these are so beautiful.
This one doesn't have a sticky, but that's okay. Let's put it on here. Okay, so lots of nail art bling. That's okay. Do we have... Nah, I'm not sure. It's okay. I'm just going to place it on. I didn't get prep that one. There we go. Hold on, let me just angle this. So this is what we did today in class. Some various nail bling techniques. I'm just having a look. It looks beautiful. So the demo one that I had before was just the straight on lines, but then we did the demo of the random, which looks cool too. Different looks. Completely full contact nail. Different looks. Let's just push this up a little bit because I feel like the rose needs a little bit more there. So the feature nail we did with acrylic and pointed back crystals in rose opal. Just happen to stare at them. They look amazing. So if you guys are joining us for the review.
Yes.
No, yeah, review. Is that the right word?
Or replay, whatever.
That's the word I'm looking for. Replay. There will be a list of all the products I used in this class in the description below. A reminder, Cuticle 15, it is in the comments as well as in this description. For 3 days, you will have until the end of Sunday.
Sunday at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time.
Right. So if you guys are new to Ugly Duckling, great time to try our products with the 15% discount. You can stock up on your crystals, all of your Sticket and your caviar beads and your blinger tool. And have some fun with all the colors. So incorporating different color gels into your background work. For example, which I didn't show, I was trying to get all the different things to show you guys that you can incorporate with your embellishment designs that aren't embellishments, like on top, that are still give the sparkle factor and aren't, necessarily on top. So using full contact glitter like this and then putting crystals on top would just be incredible. So those are our glitter gel polishes, which we have various in our line. We have our platinums, different platinum colors too that you can use as a base. You can just see that sparkle factor. It's absolutely incredible. Number 18 is one of our popular gel polish colors, and it's beautiful because it kind of has a, what would you call that? A multicolor.
Like iridescent.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
So again, another option you guys can lay down is a base layer. What I used to recap, we used to start with our diamond gel, number 234, which is our silver. And again, a reminder, with the silver, you guys can customize and create many shades using our jelly gels. So I'll show you here. These are all our jelly gels, which are our semi-sheer.
They're sheer.
Thank you.
Completely sheer.
Completely sheer. Yes, I understand. Completely sheer jelly gel colors and put it over top of 234. That's going to give you this look. Sparkles. So that silver pops through. And now you have all of these beautiful shades. If you want more of a dramatic look for crystals, with our jelly gel. How amazing. You can customize the colors. Obviously, it just doesn't do justice on camera. So you'll have to experiment if you guys have our diamond gels. Again, our diamond gel colors that we currently have in our line are these 6 beautiful colors. So again, you can pair these with your choice of crystals, fuchsia crystals. We have our purple crystals. We have our light rose crystals, our Colorado topaz, or our champagne. All of them would look beautiful on any of these, just to give that look.
Absolutely.
Again, moonstone top coat is what we use here on the opal cluster S design. Opal will create different looks on different gel polish colors. So what do you call it? Like when you say unlimited options, like yeah, never mind. I was trying to think of some kind of...
The options are endless.
Yeah, that. Thank you. Sometimes when you talk a lot, you can't remember what to say.
Yes.
Tongue twisted. But anyways, see, the moonstone looks gorgeous over the semi-sheer sorbet colors.
It would look beautiful over the
French
jelly gel too. Like highlight contour more says moonstone and jelly, and she's giving it up.
Okay, well there you go. So many options to create endless possibilities for color options. Okay, awesome. So I think that covers it all, you guys. The main focus today was on crystal application. Oh, we have to talk about removal.
Yeah.
Okay, so easy peasy lemon squeezy. Like I had mentioned, if you have been with us from the beginning, the Sticket holds on amazing, strong. You should not have any crystal loss. Sometimes if your crystals are falling off, it's because the crystals itself come off the back of the crystals. The foil is still on, but the crystal itself has come off, which is not a Sticket issue. But for removal, all we recommend is taking an old pair of nippers.
Yeah.
Okay, cuticle nippers, and you just slowly work your way around the outer side, and then you can basically get right on top, and it just clips away so easily. And the bonus about removal is that you're not going to have the crystals shooting off, pinging you in the eyeballs, or honestly, hitting your clients in the face or hitting off the walls. You know, when you hear it and it clicks and it hits whatever your table lamp or whatever, it stays to the nail, or if not, it doesn't do that shooting action, which is amazing because the Sticket is
kind of gummy.
Yes.
Almost. It's like rubbery once it's cured. So really, like it holds on for dear life, but removal is a breeze.
Totally, 100%. So no worries there, but we suggest using an old pair that you're not obviously using for your daily manicures or whatever it may be, because it will dull it very quickly. So having that as a separate option. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to have one look at the feature guy. Love it. If you guys have any questions at any time, please let us know. We are here to help you. You can email us at contact@uglyducklingnails.com. You can pop on our website and join our live chat as well if you have any questions. We're here to help support you. Again, check out our product manual online. It is a tool for you to use to help support your Ugly Duckling product application. Any questions you might have, if you're new to the product and unsure of how our system works, go to that source. It's going to help walk you through every single step, which is ultimately the goal. We want to support you in your product application. But again, if you just want to have a chat, we're here as well.
We like to talk too.
We like to talk, which is amazing. Please, if you're going to do any nails, tag us at Ugly Duckling Nails, Ugly Duckling Nail Products, at Cuticle. Love to see your work. And yeah, I think that's everything. Again, utilize your discount code, guys.
Crystal,
Shop away.
Cuticle 15.
Shop away.
Post in the comments here.
Thank you.
I'll post it one more time.
Okay.
And that discount code is good for 15% off, with the exception of some of our deals. But 15% off at uglyducklingnails.com until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And I just saw Medina pop in here.
Medina!
So speaking of Medina has classes. She is coming to Canada for workshops, beginner, intermediate, advanced. So check our education tab on our website if you're interested in classes. If you're not familiar with Medina, you will be.
You need to be.
Check out all the information. She's incredible. So that's another opportunity of education that is coming to Ugly Duckling headquarters here in Victoria, BC, Canada, in October, November. So check out the dates, and if you have any more questions, feel free to let us know.
We're very excited about hosting Medina. Medina is insanely talented, and we're just blessed to have her come here.
Medina, I can't wait for you to do a demo on me. Anyways, okay, you guys, it won't keep you any longer. Thanks so much for joining our 4th free education class here at Ugly Duckling Nails Instagram page. We will be posting it on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook if you want to rewatch or if you're watching for the first time.
Yeah.
And have I missed anything?
I don't think so.
I think I just want to hang out.
Yeah, what do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, what do you guys want to do now? We will be advertising our next artist coming up shortly next month, but that is still a surprise. It's a
Still
secret.
under wraps.
You know, we got to keep you guys on your toes.
Your tootsies.
All right, my nail friends, until next time, thanks so much again for joining Natasha and I in Crystal's vintage-inspired bridal bling. Lots of love, guys. See you on the flip. Bye for now, guys.